There we go. I am so sorry about that. For some reason, recording thing
Oh,
just
good.
turned everything off on me and reset it to factory.
Oh, lordy. Why?
Why would it do that?
Yep.
So
Now
Why
you
it's
would it
should
good.
be
do
able
that?
to hear me now. I'm so sorry,
It's all good.
everyone.
All good.
Woo.
Why
All
it would
right.
do that after nothing is going on, like never changed the settings and it just defaulted it to everything. So weird. Apparently I
That
have to check
happened
that
with
now.
my computer recently. I did some updates and then it kept resetting my audio output.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing that it loves more than that.
All right. Well,
All right. All right. I'm good when y'all are then.
yes.
Are we in?
Blame little Sombra.
Yes. Absolutely.
So
All
we've been
right,
fighting ghouls and killing things and getting paralyzed
Yes,
for
are
what
we-
you've been missing and just watching us move our face, mouth holes and stuff.
Yes. Sorry about that, everybody. We didn't realize that we weren't coming through. So yes, what has been going on this whole time is the party, Lux Et Umbra, decided to use Danny's Shadow Walk ability to quickly travel from the city of Corvosa to Fogton, which is where they're heading. On the way, what they do here is it's kind of like a wormhole, making use of the Shadow Plane's weird geography to get to places faster. But on the way, they were attacked by Leng Ghouls, which I'm sure Zavid will talk about once the fight is over. However, now it is currently Danny's turn, so she is going to make this thing. She's going to cast Phantasmal Killer on this thing, so forcing it to make a will save. It succeeds, but it still takes some damage. 46 mental, and it becomes frightened 1. Wow, and she rolled really high damage. 3 sixes and a 4, almost max damage completely. Then her last action is going to be to start her song again. So everyone's going to get a +1 to damage and hits on that, including her. So that's the end of Danny's turn. The animals will be able to move up. Top of the round, I believe that brings it to Ghoul 1. It is having a very, very bad day. It's scared out of its mind. And in fact, this one is going to burrow out of sight. It starts digging down as fast as it can. And with blinding speed, you just see a small hole, and it is gone. That brings us to Khan. You are up.
That's not fair. That's cheating. I'll just move over to the other ghoul.
Okay, I think that, yep, it's flat-footed because Ares is there.
And I'll
this-
just make 2 more attacks. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Hey.
Hey.
Okay, good damage on the sneak attack. And one more, I think.
There we go.
That might do it. That's
Another
a hit. Yes. Another hit. The rogue follows up. Now that you're kind of getting used to the wiggliness of the Shadow Realm, your attacks, you're able to figure out where you're supposed to lunge. So good damage on that. Into your turn, Zavid, you're finally not paralyzed and able to do something.
I turn around first. Free action. Does this guy look like he's about to flee?
No, this one looks, well, he looks scared, but not like he's about to flee. Looks like this one might go out punching. You get the sense the other one fled.
I'm going to cast Paralyze on him.
All right.
That saves me a kneecap.
Is that a fortitude save or a reflex or will save?
It's a will save. I hope his
Will
will
save?
isn't that high. We'll see.
Okay. Do you want to force him to roll it or do you want me to roll it?
I'll do the honors. I've just been sitting still this whole time. I feel like I ought to. Alright. Let's see. Actions. Somewhere on here's paralyzed. There it is. Alright, buddy. Fail this. Critically. Preferably.
Oh, it failed.
Sweet. It's paralyzed for a round.
Yep.
And
And
as
then the whole ticking down thing, right?
yeah, with the grip of paralysis on it, I'm gonna say in Necrol. You're not the only one who knows that trick. And I'm not gonna
You see
go
its eyes
anywhere.
starting around.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna stay where I'm at. And I think how many actions is paralyzed? Is that like a two? Let's see.
2, I think. Let's check.
2 actions? Yeah, you're right. It is. As an action, can I try to tie it up?
You can get out manacles or ropes with an action. You can begin that process, but you've already used enough actions that you can start.
I'm going to pull it out. Everybody's gonna see that that's my intention here. We're gonna capture this guy.
Cool. All right, Reese, that puts it to you.
Perfect.
Kneecapping would give you a good idea right here.
I was actually thinking of doing that because I forgot that
Yeah.
paralyzing is only 1 round. So yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so just roll a
And-
regular. Yeah, just move in and then make the regular attack.
Regular attack. Come on. Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay, so that'll hit. So it takes a minus 10 feet to its speed.
Good, good.
Cool.
No
All right, so that's
damage,
2
but
actions. You still have 1 more, but yes, no damage. That's correct.
1 more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do predictable,
I don't
which
remember what
is
that
observing
does.
him, and I can get a sense of what their next move is and prepare to counter or resist it. Choose 1 target and attempt perception check to sense motive against the foe's deception DC or a hard DC of the foe's level, whichever is higher.
Wow. Okay, so roll your perception check.
Okay. Where is that under?
Skills. So it's against its deception DC.
Let me just get that. Yeah, against their deception DC.
You want to know something funny?
Hmm.
These things are not trained in deception. So let me see. What does that mean? It's okay. You want to know what its deception DC is?
What?
16. The number you
Oh.
need to beat with your perception is 16.
Oh, and I get an auto 16, so this is just gonna be funny.
29. So you critically succeed. So what happens when you critically succeed on predictable?
So when I critically succeed on that, I precisely discern the target's strategy, gaining a +2 circumstance bonus to AC against the creature until the start of my next turn, and a +2
Wow.
circumstance bonus on your next saving throw against the creature before the start of your next turn.
That's rad. Remember
Yeah.
that if it doesn't, well, that makes its turn. So it is paralyzed. Zavid, what did you say your DC was?
27.
27 this time? Wait, was that 27 last time or 27 this time? Because it goes down 1 each time, right?
No, the spell paralyze is
the spell
different.
paralyzed is different?
I think so. That's where my confusion was. Leng Ghoul paralysis with the claws is its own thing. The spell
I
paralyze
see.
is 1 round
Oh, it's just one round?
That's
until the
why I
start of my
especially
next
wanted
turn.
to
So its whole
it.
turn it's just paralyzed.
Okay, understood. So that's the end of its turn. But it is no longer paralyzed now. So Demirius, you are now up. And you can see that Zavid is trying to capture this thing. If
All
you're there.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing's paralyzed?
Yes. Zavid cast Paralyze on it, and then Reese came up and kneecapped it, and is like watching it to make sure to see what it does. And Zavid pulled out manacles or ropes or something. What did you
Rope.
pull out? Rope? Okay.
So we just gotta weaken it to restrain it then, hopefully. Looks like a hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. Definitely. You give it a little bit of an extra wounding,
All right.
and
Smack it one more time.
oh, that was
Hopefully.
almost a 19. Not quite enough.
No. And then I guess I don't know if it's gonna work, but Just attempt to intimidate it. While it's paralyzed, I'll scare the crap out of it too.
Looking for a. Okay. Go ahead.
And that was garbage. Never mind.
It is not afraid of you at all. You were able to miss. Your attacks are piddling. Danny's up. She is going to. She's going to heal you, Demirius. She's going to cast a 4th level Soothe on you, just like she did.
Thank you.
Zavid. So that's Soothe. Bam. I've cast that twice. And then that once. Out of 4th level spells. Got it. Okay. So then she's going to renew the song. So that's Danny's whole turn. But Ares gets an attack because he's right there. Ooh, and Arwen is in range too. Both of them get attacks. Sweet. So here's Ares. That's a miss. Critical miss. And does Arwen get a hit? Nope. Okay. Top of the round. That makes it Khan. You're up. And you see, again, it's paralyzed. Zavid's trying to tie it up. Reese has just kneecapped this thing. Zavid put on a little extra damage just for flavor. Oh, you're muted.
Thank you. I'm not gonna try to stab it. Can I just like tackle it?
Sure.
Try
yes,
to keep it
that's
here,
just
keep
an
it from
athletics.
burrowing away.
Yeah, I'll say you could assist Zavid in tying it up, or like you can either assist Zavid in tying it up, or you can attempt to grapple with it, which is an athletics check.
I think I'll assist Zavid.
Okay, so let's just call that a crafting check. So throw a craft in the chat. You're looking for a DC 20.
Well, I auto succeed.
Well, just
I'm
remember
not
that a natural 1 reduces your success rate by 1. That is a critical. So even if you, that's enough. You critically aid Zavid in tying this. So Zavid, it'll only take you 1 action to tie this thing because of Khan's aid, which is your turn. And you're muted.
Same thing happened to me. Quickly, we wrap the rope around. I'm not worried about its legs now that Reese just fucked it up. So I'm getting its arms from shoulder down to wrist, all bound at its waist, super tight. Do like a Boy Scout knot. That would
Fantastic. Yeah, I like that.
That would be the plan.
Give me a crafting check. Give me a crafting check in the chat. Since I made Khan roll 1 to assist, I want you to roll 1, just to see how good your knot is.
Tower or open?
Open. You'll know immediately if your knots are good. Yeah, I was looking for a 20. So with Khan's +2 from the critical, that's a 24. So yeah, you make it. You're able to tie this thing up pretty quickly with Khan's help. It's writhing on the ground, speaking to you in Necrol. Why do you come here? You ruin everything. And I'm going to say we are out of combat for the moment because there are no additional creatures, and you have restrained this one. So we can go ahead and close your combat tracker if you'd like.
So I actually want to do a group coercion.
Oh,
Since we have
okay.
it all tied up.
Hmm.
And that's when you coerce, you can compare your intimidation check to check result to the will's DC of 2 targets instead of 1. And it's possible to get a different degree of success for each target. The number of targets you can coerce in a single action increases to 4 if you're an expert, and 10 if you're a master, 25 if you're legendary. Cool. So essentially, I just kind of want to I don't want to speak, but I just kind of want to give off this intimidating air and let whoever wants to talk to this thing. For whatever reason we have it tied up. Reese doesn't know, Elliot doesn't know. So I just kind of want to have an intimidating aura kind of about myself, so it'll benefit any coercion that someone else does.
Honestly, Elliot not knowing what the importance of this thing is perfect roleplay fodder for Reese. Because you literally would not know the significance of this creature, whereas the three of them, especially Zavid, really does. I'll say that you can assist in whatever whomever does the talking. So go ahead and roll an intimidation in the chat, and you're looking for a 20 to aid whoever is going to do the talking.
Yeah, I would figure Zavid, since he can actually speak its language and stuff.
Perfect.
So Zavid, whatever you decide to roll, intimidation, diplomacy, etc., you can have a +1 from that, and Danny will guidance you, so you can have a +2 for whatever you roll.
All right. Now, we haven't had any time to rest since we used all of our stuff against the water elementals, have we?
That's correct.
That's a
You had
bit of a
like
bummer.
10 minutes to bandage. You had 10 or 20 minutes to bandage up, and then you talked with the gardeners for another 10 minutes, and then you bailed. Yeah, it's been like half an hour since that happened. Maybe an hour.
No worries. All right. I kind of lean down, like, you know, when you kneel down next to someone that you got all like bound and everything. I'm like, I know of your master. I know of the false claims that you Ghouls make. And this is all necro, by the way. You do not own the Shadow Realm. And you do not own undeath. A storm is coming. But you are not the wielders of its power. And then I want
row in
to...
the seas of the undeath. You will drown in the Black Pharaoh's wake.
That mummy should be locked up in his sarcophagus. And then I'm going to give him like a kick across the teeth. I want to break at least a tooth. And I'll stand up.
I want you to just do a telekinetic projectile roll for that.
Okay, sure, that'll work. Where are you?
Yeah.
There
Since
we
it's bound up and all this shit, I'll let you roll that instead of your norm. Ooh.
You telekinetic projectile your ankle to his.
And it is restrained and flat-footed. You know, I'm going to call that a critical. It has enough minuses. Just barely, but you just barely critically kick it in the teeth.
I think I like how Demiris just flavored that. Like, I'm in the Shadow Realm and I'm a fetchling, so like I'm using the shadows to empower my kick faster than anyone has ever seen Zvi do anything other than run away. And see a couple of this like Ghoul's fangs kind of fly out his mouth.
3 of them fall out and just clink to the ground.
And I say, you know, despite your misguided worship of the wrong god, and I'm saying this in common now, I do appreciate the ingenuity of you Lengos. You're very intelligent. Well, your kind is very intelligent. You seem to be a bit more stupid than your brethren. Let's go for a little stroll, shall we? And
You'd want to do an intimidate on that because you have bonuses now.
That's true.
Yes.
+2
I was
on an
waiting.
intimidation. Actually, since you did the kick thing and you critted, I'm going to call that an extra 1, so you can have a 3 all day.
Hell yeah.
You're looking for a 29 to beat it. Ooh.
Natural 2.
You have a hero point. You have a hero point.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm trying to look cool. I don't want to. I don't want this to end up not working after all that.
And +3 again. That's
Hero
still not
point.
quite
I have
enough.
one more hero
All
point.
right.
It's my last one.
+3.
This is the
Come
least
on.
important hero point I've ever spent, but it feels so important. Come on.
Yes.
There
yes!
it is.
There we go.
There it is. So you succeed at frightening this thing. It's finally the calm of battle. The adrenaline is washing away, and it's realizing its situation. As you said, these things are relatively intelligent, so it's understanding the situation and the bind, literally, that it is in. So when you say that, it says, "Very well, we will hear what you have to say, apostate." I really hope I pronounced that correctly. I've only ever seen that word written.
I think it's
Apostate?
apostate, but it's
Apostate.
I
Okay,
understand.
You know, it
Yeah,
could just
I've
be
only
like
ever
an
seen it
accent
written.
that he has. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I like get all like high and mighty, like actually it's called.
In character,
no.
it's totally cool if you want to correct it.
No. Zavit's not that much of a dick. He's gonna be like, well, I'm glad that we've come to an understanding. Your god and my god are obviously enemies, but I'm not here on behalf of an old beef between two deities. I'm here because your god decided to do something really stupid recently. And I think you know what I'm talking about, don't you, Lengul?
We're moving forces to the north and to the east. We're mining metals and dealing with smiths of strange kinds, but what dealings do you speak?
These are all preparations. I'm surprised that your clerics have not let you know. You're
Let us know
working
what?
with the other fallen gods. Urgathoa, Lamashtu. We don't worship them, but we're working together? Now why is that, do you think?
We were told that the Lamashtans and the Urgathoans were more of a tool, a means to an end. You know, a stepping stone. Plus, any Lamashtan and any Urgathoan that falls in battle can be raised in Yarlathotep's name.
It is so funny you think they are the tools. Do you not see what your final goal is? And then I want to like use bullhorn or ghost sound. I want to use a little bit of magic here to spice up what
Since
I'm about to
we're
say.
not in initiative, so I'll let you like mix cantrips and shit for flavor.
I want it to be kind of loud over the sort of kind of warpy sort of sound that like I want it to kind of ring in not just his ears but everyone's ears to give a more intimidating vibe as I like lean down and say Rovagog.
As you say that, the words flow out of your mouth like wispy shadows, and what starts as a tiny eddy here near your mouth mixes with the flitting and swirling shadows of the realm that you're in. And as it escapes, it booms around to everyone. In fact, the ripples that you have become accustomed to here, they echo and vibrate like a water wave, like throwing a stone into a lake. And you can see the ripples head outward of this word, Rovagug. And it finally says, the rough beast. What means you, the rough beast?
Your god does not care for you. Your god's goals are the antithesis of the Lengul society. You have created from undeath culture. You have created from undeath intelligence and intellect beyond anything. Nyarlathotep has taken that and turned it to his own ends. He will awaken the rough beast. Do you think Rovagog will spare anybody in Lengul society? Do you think Rovagog cares who frees it? Do you believe any other god could hold the chains that bind Rovagog and control it? No. This is why it was imprisoned. No god can control Rovagog, and Cabreri sees that truth. You might have heard some things about him. You might think he is an imposter god, but at the very least he cares about you and your society and the secrets of Ghouls.
Cabreri, we have been told, as you say, is an imposter. One who wishes to usurp. One who would enslave us. Nyarlathotep allowed us, the Leng Ghouls, to have control over our consciousness and our minds and our will, but Cabreri wouldn't seek to enslave us. Is this not a truth?
This is not truth. Cabreri does not enslave. Regular ghouls are the product of apprentice necromancers. Those who are just scraping the surface. They do not lose their will because Cabreri wills it. They lose their will because they do not have the know-how to make a proper ghoul. This is why you are different. Cabreri sees the value in this. Cabreri would never put a chain on you. And if you think Cabreri is the usurper, why not? Why not support one who cares about you than the fat king that sits on his throne and uses your kind, uses your labor for his own ends? To what end is that? The rough beast.
The creature seems, you see the wheels turning in its head, and its squirming has since stopped since you started talking to it, and it's kind of thinking and piecing things together, and finally says, "There have been strange goings on in the shadow plane of late. Rumblings to the north, machines that are foreign, alien even, not from here. Do not understand these metal monstrosities. Do not know where they're from. Cannot question. Questions are typically met with the whip. But you seem to give information freely. Your god is one who trusts and gives information rather than holds it greedily.
This is a god that knows how to pick a winning side. And this is a god who only guards the secrets of undeath from those unworthy of accessing them. Meaning those mortals that seek to control those like you.
Understood. Yes, we have felt the sitting of the boot of the Black Furrow for many years, but we're always told the others were far worse in comparison. But whispers of late have shown discontent. You have opened my eyes, cleric. Thank you.
Pull out a
this.
dagger and I cut the rope. I'm gonna let him loose as he's saying this. Go back to your kind. Go back to your society. Tell them of the true plans of Nyarlathotep. Let your brethren come to the conclusion that is wise. But it is time to abandon the god that has long since abandoned you.
Long live Ghoulkind. And it just burrows down into the ground and you see it disappear from sight.
A lot of that was in Necrol. I think almost all of it was. So if anyone doesn't speak Necrol, they just saw us going, yes, doing that sort of thing.
I like to imagine that gesticulating is part of the grammar. So like they have to do like voguing while they're talking as well.
I believe it.
I just kind of like do this, start wrapping up of my rope, and I'm like, I think that went well. Thank you everybody for helping me out there. Let's keep going.
So what was that?
Yeah, we didn't understand anything.
I didn't want to interrupt, but
This is a Leng Ghoul. Leng Ghouls are an intelligent and free ghoul, almost like a living person, technically undead, but they have culture, society, and all that. They're very cool. I admire them a lot. However, they've been sort of taken in by our enemy, Nyarlathotep. Cabreri has always vied for their favor, but Nyarlathotep is a bit of a slave driver and keeps them under his boot. Now that it has been revealed that Nyarlathotep is trying to help Lamashtu and Urgathoa awaken the rough beast who spares nobody, I am trying to turn the Leng Ghouls against their god and bring them over to our side, or at the very least Cabriri's side. He's been wanting their worship for centuries, millennia even. This could be an opportunity, at the very least for a temporary alliance, if not permanent allies.
Yeah. As much as I don't like working with these things, we need all the help that we can get. If they can
Indeed.
turn on their own god, I mean, what benefit is it to them to serve a god that wants to see everything destroyed? Even them.
That was my argument, essentially. That, and he has some misconceptions. He thinks Cabriri wants to enslave him, but Cabriri is pretty chill when it comes to his undead. He works with low-level ghouls because that's kind of what he has, but the Leng ghouls are the ones that can think. They're the ones that could uplift his worship to the next level. That's why he wants them. At least, he hasn't told me that, but I mean, if I'm thinking from a god standpoint, I would want my worshippers to be smart, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me personally, I think I'd like to have some idiots that they just follow blindly, which, you know, there's a good amount. I'd like to have a mix, honestly, but that's just me if I was being evil.
Just sowing the seeds of dissent.
Loyalty is the important thing. However, Leng ghouls have been loyal for millennia to one god because they were under the impression that that god is who freed them. If I can break that impression and tell them actually it is this god, then that loyalty shifts and they bring their culture and knowledge with them, which is good.
Yeah, that should aid us if that it looked like you did good. I try to look intimidating as I could. I know I'm a pretty boy, but like I try.
You did a great job, all of you. I was a little surprised. I didn't expect an ambush like that. But I think it worked out in our favor in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's keep moving. If we dawdle here, we'll just be a target for more stuff.
Yeah, I want to get the hell out of here.
Very well. One moment while I prep a thing really fast.
We've been consumed by the Shadow Realm.
So you get back onto the cart. You get back on the cart with Demirius at the helm, with Demirius at the reins, as per usual. Just out of curiosity, who's sitting up front with Demirius, if anybody?
I'll sit up front. I think.
All right.
I think I just want to keep an eye out. Plus, I still have that greater dark vision, so I can kind of pierce through the darkness.
That would definitely be handy to have. Up
Yes,
front here.
that would be fantastic to have up front. Let me get rid of everyone's
Just pat my
paralysis.
thigh. Come on up here.
Sit on your lap. Tell me a story.
Well,
Okay. So as you get back in the car, Danny goes back to chanting this spell that she cast earlier. Her eyes kind of glaze over, the shadows wisp around the whole cart, and you're moving forward again along the road. The space in front of you seems to lengthen, contract back and forth as space flies past you. And eventually, it goes away. All the wispy, the watery looking air around you is gone. And you're sitting in your cart, moving along a road, clopping around. And the first thing you notice is the fog. It's thick and rolling around everywhere that you can see. You're on a dirt road with some cobblestone paths. There's a large mountain to your left. To the right seems to be a bit of a drop off down to a valley below. You can just barely see, you can hardly even make out the bottom of it. But has that map loaded for you? It should be a thin strip.
yeah, just the fog
Yes,
in the cart.
okay. Yeah, just fog in the cart and a thin strip. Fantastic. Okay, so just for RP's sake, this is what you see for the moment as you are slowly coming down this mountain path. And The fog again is extremely difficult to see through, but rounding the corner, can everyone give me perception checks in the tower, please? Oh no, did my internet conk out? Oh no,
No.
I just
For a
Something's
second, you're
no.
kind of
Okay, fantastic.
herky jerky
This
on
is
the
in the
Gotcha,
dice
okay.
tower, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yes, test tower, please.
Oh, okay. What
Perception,
skill?
yeah.
Perception. Okay.
Perception in the
Yeah.
tower, yes.
There we go.
And yeah, actually, it's not surprising. Zavid and Demirius, both of you see this. Elliot and Reese, you do not, because you're in the cart. That makes some sense. So, the both of you are. The cart sort of just kept going as the spell stopped, and as you're going down the road, you see a sort of a bend in the road, and as you come round the bend through the fog, suddenly out of nowhere, you see a large pile of rocks and a huge boulder in the center of the road. And underneath it is not only a large black bear, but there's also an orc trapped underneath the rock. Help! Anybody?
Whoa!
Okay,
Thunder
this is a trap.
It might not be.
I wanted to check
Uh.
magic if I can like come forward and see what they're talking about.
Sure. Yeah, you can absolutely come forward and take a look. And you see now what is on the map. You see a large pile of rocks. You see an orc trapped, and you see a bear that appears to be trapped under a huge boulder.
So which one of these question marks is the orc and the bear? Because all I see are
showed up.
question marks right now.
It's
The orc is on the right.
yeah. The question mark should show up in
Ah.
a second.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
orc is on
It's
the
all
right,
starting to
the bear's
pop
on the
up
left.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, there they come.
The
Bear's
whole
on the
map
right.
was
All right,
just
so
in
bear's on the
like
left.
blackness with like this fog rolling past. I'm like, are we still
Uh-huh.
in the shadow room? What's going on?
Yeah, I just had layers so I could like hide stuff, and then reveal them as needed.
Okay.
Ugh. All right. I'm gonna
Everybody
go see if he
there.
needs help.
Before you
Wait, hold
go,
on. Before you
I'm gonna
go,
yeah. Come here.
how do I do the detect magic? By the way.
Oh, you just tell me you're casting it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm gonna
For that one's
cast.
super easy.
I'm gonna cast status on all of us in the cart, including Arwen and our little dog Aries,
Okay, great.
so that if anything ever happens, I know where you are on this plane of existence and what your status is. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. So, Demirius, you walk up to what appears to be a rock slide. And again, you just see an orc man wearing what appears to be hunting gear. There's what at this point you recognize as a boomstick is a few feet away from him. He's not actually holding it like he is in the picture. It's on the
Okay.
ground, out of his reach.
I'll make sure to set that aside so he's not within reach of him, just in case.
Yep, you absolutely are able to walk in between him and the gun, and kind of, as he's looking away, you kind of kick it out of the way. And when he finally hears you coming up, he says, "Oh, hey man, is somebody there, man?"
Yeah. You're not looking so great.
Man, I know. Talking about that dang old rock slide, man. Just coming out here hunting the bear, and the dang old rocks come right down and trap me under here, man.
Bear a friend of yours? Or are you hunting it?
I was my bear companion when the dang old hunting up in the woods, man, and the rock just gave out from underneath us, man.
All right. Give me a second.
I think
So glad you came,
I think-
by, man. Oh,
I think if Danny sees that there's a bear, I think she'd want to go talk to it.
Yeah.
that seems probably true. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right.
Also,
that is
Shane wants to
accurate.
hear the voice of the bear, and if it's the same Boomhauer voice as this guy.
So, give me a moment. I've been prepping for Fogton for like 10 months, so
Yeah, but I'll shift my weapon to like a pickaxe and try to start picking at these
Sure.
rocks and toss them off of them and stuff. Try to help them out. Hopefully
So
not
Danny,
hurt him more.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, you can start chipping away at the rocks, pulling them off. And Danny walks over to the pile and, she starts doing the it's okay to the bear. And the bear, she asks, how are you doing? Are you okay? And the bear says, I'm okay. But, but the rocks fell from up there. So she turns to all of you and says, it seems like it was a rock slide. The bear is trapped. And she starts trying to pick up stones and move them, but they're all really small. She's trying to be helpful, but Danny's not very strong.
Is the bear's name Bobby?
I'll help
Yeah,
Danny.
of course it is. Of course it is. Alright, I'll come out. I'll start using
Bobby the bear.
telekinetic projectile.
Yeah.
Actually, I have an ant haul on. I can actually probably haul some of
You
these
do
rocks
have
off.
ant pile. Here, you want to see something fun? So as all of you are start getting the rocks out of here, watch this. Boop. You start clearing the rocks. Wrong one. You start clearing the rocks one by one. It takes a little bit. I'm kind of skipping ahead here, but there is still the matter of the huge boulder that is attached to the bear. But as you get the rocks away from the orc, he says, "Man, dang, I was so glad you came by, man. When you did, man, I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come here by me, man." And he slowly starts to stand up, and he walks over to you, Demirius, and he puts his hand out and he says, man, dang old Jazz Rock good to meet you, man.
Yeah, dangle, Demirius,
I would
hey,
like Khan and Demirius, actually, and Zavid, all three of you, out of character may not have recognized it, but in character, you would have recognized that last name, Rotgut.
Oh.
That was Dirge's last name. Because he went by Mountain Hoof, but that was the name the druids bestowed upon him. His given name is Rotgut.
No.
I'm gonna take a look at this guy. I'm gonna squint at him. Do I see a resemblance?
Yes, you absolutely do. Where Dirge is far more muscular, this orc seems to be much more tan. He clearly spends a lot of his time outside. He's young. He seems to be about the same age as Dirge, but maybe a little bit younger.
Demirius, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah. Turn the his name again? Sorry.
And,
The orc.
Jazz Rock, man.
Jazz?
Jazz.
Okay.
Jazz.
Alright. Jazz.
Like the
Alright.
music.
Do you happen to know Dirge?
Man, dang old Dirge? That's my dang old big old brother, man.
Your brother?
You know Dirge too? Hey, know the dang old Dirge, man.
He was traveling with us for a while, but he stayed behind to learn from the druids.
Yeah, that checks out, man. The dang old Dirge always up on top of that mountain talking to that crazy old druid hermit, man. Everyone thought he was weird
Yeah.
for it, but I always knew someone was there.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, I want to help free this bear.
Yeah.
Demirius and
Dang old Bobby,
Wow.
Bobby Boo Bear. Dang old, let's get this a problem, man. And then,
so I have an idea. If you guys could get a hold of the back of the bear, I can squeeze sort of under the rock where the bear is and then try to just lift it with all of my strength, enough so you could pull the bear free.
I have 18 strength, so I want to assist somehow.
yeah.
I might need assistance lifting the rock more than
Yeah.
they need assistance pulling the bear.
Yeah, then I'll help Savid.
Yeah, okay, so Reese, give me an athletics check in the chat to aid. You're looking for a 20.
Abilities, right?
Yep.
Nope.
Under skills.
Skills. One day I'll get it.
It's Fantasy Grounds and Pathfinder 2e are so complicated. That is a critical success. So
Yep.
as Zavid, you can add 2 from that. Danny will give you guidance for 3. And since you have Ant Hall in for this exact situation, you can have another 5, so there's a +8. You're looking for a. Let's see. Did I give a number for this? I didn't. That was dumb. I can look up a DC. 1 second. I have. There's rules for that because it's Pathfinder. Come on,
So
Chrome.
I would like to squeeze to the point where this thing is pinning the leg. Basically trying to, like simple machine with the fulcrum and whatever. I'm trying to get as close to where the thing is. And then I want to try to expand my body and lift. And just with as much force as Ant Hall will allow me to have, as well as the help that I've gotten.
All right. Give me an athletics check +8.
+8. Damn.
Yeah, 2 from Reese's crit, 1 from Danny's guidance, and 5 from Ant Hall. Because this is literally what Ant Hall is for.
Hell yes. Athletics.
Like if you have Ant Hall and you try to trip someone in combat, that's no bonus. But this is what it's for, lifting shit. Look at that. Look at that. The DC was 30. So, with Reese's help and your Ant Hall spell, using yourself and other rocks as a fulcrum and a pushing off point, you are able to just barely maneuver this thing off this bear just enough so that Demirius, Jazz, and Khan can pull Bobby Boo Bear out, and then you're able to squirm your way out from under it, and the rock goes down into place. Then
I
Bobby,
look like
Bobby comes out from here and starts to lick all of you.
Reese, did you do that with one arm? What the fuck?
Yeah, I may look like a twink, but I actually my grip strength. It's good.
I look
My
over
grip
and there's like a handprint in the rock where your fingers dug into the stone.
Yeah. How else do you think I visited Danny in the tower? I mean, come on, man.
That makes a lot. That tracks actually. That makes a lot of sense.
That's why, out of character, that's why I gave them a lot of strength.
So they can climb the tower.
Yeah, because their dex isn't horrible, but he still has a good amount of strength for both of them. Just don't ask them to do anything wise or be charismatic.
Hey man, I can't thank you all enough for coming by when you did, man. You saved me and Bobby's life, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. Always happy to meet a friend of dang old dirt, man. Y'all come through Fogton?
Yeah, I think so. Are you okay though? Examining make sure
I'll be all right. And he's doing that manly thing where he's clearly got arm injuries and cuts and scrapes.
Hey.
He's no.
Hey, I yell at him. I'm like, lay down right now, as I pull out my surgery tools.
And he's looking around at all of you man, dang crazy.
Oh,
man.
it'll be okay. It'll sting at first, but you'll be okay.
All right, man.
I know what I'm doing.
He's maybe a doctor.
I don't waste any time. Hey, look at that.
Yeah. All right, 1.
It's almost like when you distract is the word I'm looking for. When you distract a baby with a lollipop or whatever, and you give them the shot so they don't feel what's going on. Basically, he's I have him distracted with you guys and Bobby, who's probably nuzzling him as I quickly. That should give me a +2 on my medicine check. As long as I succeed, it'll be a success. Let's see. Or a crit, I mean.
Oh, baby.
Orc physiology. You'd think you'd be used to this with Dirge.
I did this to Dirge all the time.
All the time. Anybody else have a hero point?
Please.
I'll give you my hero point. You can have it.
Thank you. I would not be able to live with myself if I harmed Dirge's brother. Oh
Yeah,
my
right.
god. Where's medicine? There you are. Just not on that one. Okay.
There it is. Okay, that's a critical. So yeah, you're able to patch him up. You set his dislocated shoulder. You give him some stitches. You clean out his wounds. Get the dirt out. Man, that feels great, man. A lot better than the doctor we got in Fogton, man.
I nearly punctured your aorta, and I'm sorry about that. It was a close call. Khan, thank you for moving my hand out of the way.
At least it would have been quick, man.
But appreciate the honesty, but you didn't have to tell him that.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes learning about your brushes with death makes you more appreciative of life.
I suppose that's true.
Anyway, let's go. I have a fear of heights I've discovered, and I want to keep moving.
All right.
Yeah, man. I'll take you to Dangle Fog, man. We'll take you in. We can either show you the Dangle Brewery, or we're gonna take you to the tavern, man. I ain't thinking name. It's a great town, man.
Is there any place with accessories?
Accessories? What do you need?
You know, propane accessories.
Way over my head. Oh my god, how did I miss that? Yeah.
Of course, there's a place for that.
Dangle, I'll show you around town, man. Come on. And so, Jazz and Bobby Boubert begin to walk with you next to the cart because it's a little full at this point. And eventually, the winding path does come into sort of a valley. There's this beautiful river flowing down. There's a big slope to this town, and as you come through this valley, you see this beautiful quaint village filled with wood cottages, a gorgeous fog inundating the entire city. You can see this thick pea soupy fog, and I'll share this with you now. There's a small wooden bridge just big enough for 2 carts to go side by side that crosses the river into the town proper. But Jazz takes you here, and he looks to all you and he says, "Welcome to Fogton, man. It's dangle hard to see, so just watch your foot and don't fall into the rivers, man." So, yes, you are now in the city. Hopefully, has that loaded?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Very cool.
So, there's a couple of places that you know about. There's the Rotgut Brewery, which is Dirge's family. There is the Barrel Floater Brewery, which is Abby's family, whom all of you know. And then there is the Brood Awakening Tavern, which is kind of where the dwarves and the orcs in the town go and coexist peacefully in their brewing. Because this town has a reputation for being extremely peaceful, and one of the only areas where dwarves and orcs interact and live in peace. And they do it via their never-ending arm wrestling contest at the Brood Awakening. It has been going on for generations at this point.
I like that this map looks like the map of like a Windows 95 point-and-click adventure game.
Yeah.
You know?
It's awesome.
You click a little guy
Absolutely.
and he like walks awkwardly through it.
Yeah, a little pixelated, like slow walking character that goes from house to house.
Uh-huh. And then the other thing you know is that 2 of you have been sent here to find the Hermit of Fogton. One of you to find golden dragon scales, the other one for a bit of a more cryptic reason. So yeah, those are the 3 or 4 things you have, and I think now might be a good place for an intermission. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, let's go take ourselves a quick break. Hope everyone will join us here in about 10-15 minutes or so, and we'll see where we go from here.
All right.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
Catch you in a sec.
Some see me as a cynic. They come in for the base, but they stay for the acidic. I've been on that paper chase, keeping pace for a minute, and I'm aiming to appreciate the moment while I'm in it. Genesis, a menace on the mic, so sinister. You might get some venom from the bites I administer. Winner from the start, superstar with the finisher. I got a decent heart, but I'm hardly a minister. A bardic apprentice, I'm innocent as a lamb. Worm like I'm Dennis, I don't dare to give a damn. Firm in the philosophy, I am who I am. I'm a carbon commodity, I need to be verified on the gram. Tightrope walking the id and the super ego. Lifeboat liable to fire the torpedoes. Keeping to the credo, I'm free to achieve the dream, or at the very least I can release some of my steam. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the divine and the balance of good and evil in people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H. Double OD. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. So we're supposed to be sophisticated, then why is 67% of the population undereducated? Emotionally incapacitated, historically opinionated characters end up assassinated. And that's okay with the people faking it day to day, capitalizing on capitalism. It's pay to play, waiting for data to make it fade away. Whether you admit it, but witnessing biological decay of the human race. We're going to a new place. I really hope it comes soon. I don't do space, two-face, treble and bass, running the rebel base, outpacing enemies in the interface. In your face like a zygomatic arch. I got them in lockstep, meaning my melodramatic march is effective, albeit rather subjective. I encourage you to pursue a new perspective. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the divine and the balance of good and evil in people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H. Double OD. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. Since the day I was born, I've been non-conforming. I put myself in a position to make a living performing. Haters should consider this a formal warning. I've been swarming on them like a storm, I'm global warming. I'm not the one, done been through too much madness. Mastered the wrath and the sadness. You would need an atlas to match where I'm at. The fat cat put a nerdcore rap back on the map, that's Yazik. Weaving that underwater basket. Rap till I'm wrapped in a casket. Snapping I'm back on the track like I'm Matt Foley. Stay blown like a fiberglass gasket. Gassed up, I'm a maniacal minotaur. Try to hit me with your best shot, Pat Minotaur. Try to get me on a guest spot, but I stay in the lab, and that's where I'ma be until they put me up on the slab. It's magic. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the divine and the balance of good and evil in people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H. Double OD. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. Life is short, do it as you please. You're the only person that you ever have to appease. Or search your weaponry by stepping in DSDs. But you gotta know that nobody gets any guarantees. Seize opportunity, embrace your development. Replacing the elements, erasing irrelevance. Facing the blatant display of decay and our elegance. Merrick was a man, not an elephant. Tell him on the merit of the self-reflection. Minimize any malevolent misdirection. Keeping them at a downright distant disconnection. An example of natural selection. And I might be slightly erratic, ghost in the shell, I'm a light in the attic, and I'm quite the dramatic, a minute for the attention, ready to ascend and transcend dimensions. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the divine and the balance of good and evil in people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H. Double OD. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me.
I'm like a falling star, I burn alone. I've got a heart without a home. Underneath this empty sky, just waiting for a sign. And it seems to me that gravity has got its hold on me. But I'm about to break free. Mothership, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn the darkness into light. Oh, mothership, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Like a flare without a spark, a shadow wish into the dark. Far across the galaxy is where I dream to be. And it seems to me astrology has got its plans for me. I just gotta believe. Oh, mothership, take me home tonight. ship, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this nightmare into light. Oh, mother ship, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Falling star, I burn alone. Got a heart without a home.
A glass cannon is a character that can put out obscene damage very quickly, but is also incredibly frail. I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon, glass cannon. You don't even want a dose of the smoke, so I'm recommending that you never try to provoke. A glass cannon, I'm a glass cannon. If your objective is blatant confrontation and you haters have greatly underestimated my station, I dominate with divination, I conquer with conjuration, I'm bonkers with evocation, I'm astonishing at abjuration, patiently waiting for my invitation to help alleviate my already unbelievable reputation. No conversation, the brains of the operation, the pain of the population contained in a concentration of a spell slot. I got 27 in the clip, missiles emitting from my fingertips like warships. That's a handgun, damn son, shooting from the hip. Only one using telekinesis to get a grip. Cantrips waiting to be cast off. Prismatic wall, make 'em all blast off. Cackling my ass off, incapacitating them with laughter. Yazzik ain't the caster you wanna go after. I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon, glass cannon. You don't even want a dose of the smoke, so I'm recommending that you never try to provoke. A glass cannon, I'm a glass cannon. Anyone wanting to interfere can get weird and witness your worst fears in a 30-foot sphere. I don't care if you're a barbarian or a cavalier. Kick it into high gear, let me make myself clear. The pioneer, I can make your peers disappear. Send them to the ethereal plane as if they were never here. Cheers roaring in my ears, dearly revered. I'm happy to domineer any volunteers. Sincerely out of control, top of the totem pole. My cone of cold is freezing them fire trolls whole. I got the strap, just looking to trap souls. I've been snapping my firebolt, leaving smoldering holes. It's incredibly difficult not to acknowledge me. I am a prodigy, you'll read about me in your mythology. No apologies, I'm impossible to demolish. Consider this admonishing, second guessing my polish, you bitch. I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon, glass cannon. You don't even want a dose of the smoke, so I'm recommending that you never try to provoke. A glass cannon, my glass cannon. I'm the one that gets it done in the clutch, so you know I never really gotta worry too much. I'm a glass cannon, glass cannon. The general strategy is to either destroy the enemy before being attacked, or to hide behind other, stronger ally units. Who goes there? Why you dummies always coming in my lair like you want the smoke? All these wannabe heroes are never prepared for the nightmare and despair that they dare to provoke. Most folk are doing their best to avoid me. Floor full of bones of the people that annoy me. Every now and then I get a couple of daredevils with the audacity to think that they can destroy me. Good luck with that, man. I got panoramic vision, meaning that I can see in any direction with precision. If it's your decision to attack, I suggest that you come back when your plans had a bit of revision to it. Notably, you should accept defeat. Consider this your last opportunity to retreat. Repeat, that was your last chance to survive. I hope that you enjoyed your time being alive.
You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder.
I am the tyrant, get it? I have actually been told that I'm a pretty funny guy. Wait a minute, what were we discussing? I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's right, you were just about to die. Huh. How could I forget that? It's my favorite part. The only thing left to consider is where to start. In addition to magical abilities, I'm smart. I can make your demise art. Anyway, it appears that the wizard in your party is a gnome who was worth about the same as if he would have stayed at home. I'll activate my anti-magic cone, and in a moment I'll turn him into stone. When the barbarian inevitably flies into rage, I'll disintegrate her with one of my eye rays. By the way, I haven't even begun to try. Fly by and take a bite of the fighter's thigh.
You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder.
While the fighter attempts to collect himself, he bleeds out on the space I dismembered him in. I wouldn't waste time telling me your names. I can guarantee that nobody's ever gonna remember them. Then again, you'll be on the list of my victims at the bottom of a column of other anonymous prey. You should take a minute to reflect on the day and the last words you'll ever say. Time's up. You're the lone survivor, the last one left. And halfling rogues are admittedly deft, but you broke into my home and you've stolen my time. I'm afraid I cannot allow theft. Throw you up into the air with my telekinesis. Finger of death to obliterate you into pieces, and that's that. Wink and a tip of the hat. That was good for my practice. Thanks for the chat.
You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder. Yeah. You foolish for ignore the warning. Now you'll be dead before the morning. You should've looked over your shoulder. You're in the eye of the beholder.
Some see me as a cynic. They come in for the base, but they stay for the acidic. I've been on that paper chase, keeping pace for a minute, and I'm aiming to appreciate the moment while I'm in it. Genesis a menace on the mic, so sinister. You might get some venom from the bites I administer. Winner from the start, superstar with the finisher. I got a decent heart, but I'm hardly a minister. A bardic apprentice, I'm innocent as a lamb. Worm like I'm Dennis, I don't dare to give a damn. Firm in the philosophy, I am who I am. I'm a carbon commodity, I need to be verified on the gram. Tightrope walking the it and the superego. Lifeboat liable to fire the torpedoes. Keeping to the credo, I'm free to achieve the dream, or at the very least I can release some of my steam. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the defining the balance of good and evil, and people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H. Double OD. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. So we're supposed to be sophisticated. Then why is 67% of the population undereducated? Emotionally incapacitated. Historically opinionated characters end up assassinated. And that's okay with the people faking it day to day. Capitalizing on capitalism, it's pay to play. Waiting for data to make it fade away. Whether you admit it, we're witnessing biological decay of the human race. We're going to a new place. I really hope it comes soon. I don't do space, two-face, treble and bass, running the rebel base. Outpacing enemies in the interface. In your face like a zygomatic arch. I got them in lockstep, meaning my melodramatic march is effective, albeit rather subjective. I encourage you to pursue a new perspective. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the defining the balance of good and evil, and people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine combine my child with OTIC. An outlaw like I'm Robin H-double-O-D. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. Since the day I was born, I've been non-conforming. I put myself in a position to make a living performing. Haters should consider this a form of warning. I've been swarming on them like a storm, I'm global warming. I'm not the one, done been through too much madness. Mastered the wrath and the sadness. You would need an atlas to match where I'm at. The fat cat put a nerdcore rap back on the map, that's Yazid. Weaving that underwater basket. Rap till I'm wrapped in a casket. Snapping I'm back on the track like I'm Matt Foley. Stay blown like a fiberglass gasket. Gassed up, I'm a maniacal minotaur. Try to hit me with your best shot, Minotaur. Try to get me on that guest spot, but I stay in the lab, and that's where I'ma be until they put me up on the slab. It's magic. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the defining the balance of good and evil, and people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H-double-O-D. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. Life is short, do with it as you please. You're the only person that you ever have to appease. Or search your weaponry by stepping in DSDs. But you gotta know that nobody gets any guarantees. Seize opportunity, embrace your development. Replacing the elements, erasing irrelevance. Facing the blatant display of decay and our elegance. Merrick was a man, not an elephant. Tell him on the merit of the self-reflection. Minimize any malevolent misdirection. Keeping them at a downright distant disconnection. An example of natural selection. And I might be slightly erratic. Ghost in the shell, I'm a light in the attic. And I'm quite the dramatic, a minute for the attention. Ready to ascend and transcend dimensions. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the defining the balance of good and evil, and people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H-double-O-D. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me.
I'm like a falling star, I burn alone. I've got a heart without a home. Underneath this empty sky, just waiting for a sign. And it seems to me that gravity has got its hold on me. But I'm about to break free. Mothership, take me home tonight. Help me find a way to turn this darkness into light. Oh, mothership, take me home tonight.
Thanks for coming back, everybody. We are back from intermission. Where we last left off, Lux Et Umbra had finished up their shadow walk and their interrogation of the Leng ghoul within the shadow plane, and they had arrived just on the outskirts of the town of Fogton, where they discovered an orc hunter and his bear had been trapped beneath a rock slide. Figuring out that this was not indeed not a trap, they helped out the orc and his bear to escape from the rock slide, only to discover that it was Jazz Rotgut, their very own Dirge's younger brother. Jazz walked them the rest of the way, about a quarter of a mile, into the village of Fogton itself. Thick fog rolls down from the top of Mount Fogton, the very peak, constantly rolling down into the town, down off the river and into the valley below. You see many beautiful, quaint wood cabins and cottages in this town. But the the central figure at the top of the hill is a very...
Oh,
Of course. As soon as we
It's
start,
very large
there.
twice. Jazz looks to all of you and says, "Welcome to Fogton, man." And, whoop. Oh, did my internet just tap out?
Just for a second, you're good now.
Am I there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry. So Jazz says to you, "Y'all know, welcome to dang old Fogton, man."
Thank you for showing us the way.
Appreciate it.
Anything-
Anything to do for a friend of theirs, man.
Yeah. Anywhere you recommend in this town to go to?
Oh man, well if you want to get a drink, man, there's no better place than going to the dang old Brood Awakening, man. It's the top of the hill there. Or if you want to get it fresh out of the keg, you can go over to the Rock Up Brewery, man, where I'm from. It's the dang old family business, man.
All right, fantastic. I'm sure we'll see you around.
Dang old happy to meet you. Come back. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Yeah, you take care of yourself and watch out for rock slides. Yeah, you too.
Bobby Boo Bear says.
Bobby
He
Boo
gives
Bear.
you one more lick, and Bobby Boo Bear and Jazz go back up into the trees over on the eastern side of the map. They just kind of go up into the forest, and y'all are kind of free to wander around Fogton a little bit. There's not a ton here, mostly residential homes, but you can see a couple of businesses here and there.
You say we check out that Rude Awakening?
Yeah.
All right.
Go.
So let me get that one ready first then. Not a
Some arm
problem.
wrestling contest here.
Ooh, that's... 1 second. That's not correct. That's better. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna put them over here. Set y'all up right about like this. Order doesn't really matter, but that's okay. So I have a map to share with you as y'all are coming up the hill. It's getting kind of late in the evening. You've been up quite a while at this point. You got up early. You had your training session with Lumbee, Demirius. Then later you all had to get ready and meet the Queen of Corvosa. After that, you decided to kick back at Eel's End for a game of knivesies and some gambling. Then immediately got attacked by water elementals, left into the Shadow Plane, got attacked by Leng Ghouls, helped an orc and his bear out of a rock slide. So it's getting kind of late in the evening. It's been a long, long day for all of you. But you walk up the hill, and the fog just seems to get thicker the higher you go up in this town. And eventually you do come to a large building up at the northern end of town that has a sign up at the front that says Brood Awakening. And I actually have one other thing to show about that really fast. As you get up to the building, almost all of you except Reese recognize this building. You've seen it before in a little trinket that Danny has, that Abby gave her many years ago as a present. It's a tiny, ever-snowing globe that Abby gave to Danny forever ago, if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
That is the same building that you see right in front of you now. So you come up to the building, and it's a large wooden tavern structure. And up at the front, you see another orc who's kind of an ugly young dwarf in tattered clothing, but he's got he's got rings on every finger. He's got kind of a large baton. He seems kind of gruff, but not aggressive. But he's standing in front of the door, holding his jacket like this. Hey there, got some new people. What are y'all doing in Fogton?
Coming to visit.
Oh, let me unlock the map.
Pleasure
Sorry.
to make your acquaintance, sir.
Well, Pop Gut, always good to meet new people.
Oh,
You gonna
another
be
rot gut.
drinking in here today? Well, there's lots of us here in town. Yes, pleased to meet you. Name's Pop.
Pop, huh?
Hi, Pop. It's nice to meet you. Danny, can I see that snow globe?
Yeah, she hands it over to you. You want me to show you?
I look at the thing and I shake the snow globe really violently, and I look around to see if it's magically connected to this location.
Oh
All
my
you
God, the
see
building
is
started
fog
shaking.
still, but there's snow inside, but it's just thick fog.
I'm a little disappointed. I give it back to her.
So Pop says, "Well, anybody's welcome inside of the Brood Awakening. Just make sure there's no fights. Keep all aggression to the arm wrestling competition." And he steps aside and allows you to walk in. Let me share this for you.
Oh,
I've been excited for this one. This is going to be fun.
ooh, that's cool.
So you come in and you are immediately overwhelmed by the smells of roasted meats, sausages, and turkey. You see in the center, there's a large table filled with sausages and turkey legs and all kinds of malt beers and wonderful plates of cheeses and breads. You see dwarves and goblins and orcs sitting around this table, feasting and laughing and telling stories and having a wonderful time. Then I actually did that second picture load just for art.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Yeah, it's just generic art revelry of the people at the center table. At the far or at the I don't want to load too many images all at once and just bombard your computers. So you can see there are several small round tables where there are individual groups sitting. There are some square ones off on a riser over to the east, more for slightly more personal dining, as far as personal private space can be in a raucous place like this. Over in the far northeast corner, you see a large piano and several other musical instruments. There's currently one person tinkling out a couple of tunes on the piano, but nothing too amazing. At the far northern end of the tavern, you see a large stone fireplace, and in front of it is a wooden table, and currently there's a large female orc and a dwarf arm wrestling on it, and there's several people, yeah, putting bets and some throwing coins at the table. It's really just a raucous time in this place. And this is what you see in front of you. I'm hoping those pictures load eventually.
Yep, we got the one with the goblin or the orc.
Oh
and
my
the
god, she's so
dwarves,
hot.
And then
Isn't she?
yep,
Ugh.
okay, now we got the arm wrestling ones up. Yep.
I had to
Yeah.
Photoshop this. I had to Photoshop like 5 different images together to make that. The one with the arm wrestling.
I
Looks
love
cool,
I'm not
though.
very
that.
good at it, but I got it. Thank you. Oh yeah, and there's 2 other people that you see. I forgot. There's 2 orcs at the bar as well. The bartender is an older looking orc female with kind of darkish black to graying hair, but up at the front she's got 2 big chunks of gray that kind of streak down. She wears a big eye patch over her left eye. She has several what appear to be burn scars along her chest and forearms. And there is another much younger orc female sitting at the bar, where she has a nicely curled black hair. She's very pretty, wears a nice leather outfit with a large purple pendant around her neck. She's slowly sipping at a beer, talking to the barkeep.
For the sake of not clogging this up with NPCs and everything, but there's like a bunch of people in here. But okay, just making sure, like.
Yes, that for the sake of not clogging the map with NPCs, I just didn't put a bunch of any. But there are people everywhere in this place.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, sorry, I
No, I completely
didn't take the
understand. I
time.
just wanted to
Just
make sure.
I knew this map was going to take long enough to load as is, so I
Yeah,
didn't
for
want to
sure.
put 5,000 little creatures on it as well. I put the 2 that matter, or the 3 that matter.
Yeah. Okay.
V's just kind of standing awkwardly because he doesn't know where to sit. And
There's
it's like
open
Demarius
spaces
and
at the
Connor
bar.
walk past, like, where do we go? Where are we going?
Yeah, I'll tap you on the shoulder. Just tell him to follow me, and I'll make my way to the bar.
Yep, there are several open spots at the bar. And,
I guess as I'm following Demirius, I'm going to tell him, you should try the arm wrestling.
That's what I'm thinking. That
I
looks
think you'll
fun.
make a great impression.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully, the dice are favoring me today.
all right, and as you sit down at the bar, the bartender, the older orc woman, comes up to you and says, "Welcome to the Brood Awakening, y'all. How can I help y'all?" And then she says, "What would you like? But do any of you speak Dwarvish?"
I think I do. Hold
Yes,
on.
she's. Yeah, I think you do, Con.
Where do I go for languages?
Languages is the notes tab, and you just type them in.
Yeah.
Or you just
Yes,
hit the green plus sign and type it. Yeah, so you speak Dwarvish. So she says, what can I get you in really, really bad Dwarvish? Like her accent is horrible. Even as a non-native Dwarvish speaker, you recognize that this woman is not good at Dwarvish.
Meh. Sorry. Maybe.
I'll say back in Dwarvish, I'll have a large pint of something very weak, but I want them to think I'm drinking something strong.
And she looks at you surprised and she says, right away. Like, imagine if I were speaking Spanish and I went right away, but in Spanish, but she's doing that in Dwarvish. She's really, really hitting the dwarfishness of it. And it's not coming through as well as I'm meaning because dwarfish isn't real, but do you get what I'm saying? She's really hitting that accent hard. So what she does is she makes the loud whistle. I can't whistle that loud. To the whole bar. It whistles over to the whole bar and everyone gets their attention and she says, time for a cold one. And several of the patrons in the bar get up and run to the bar up and they crowd up next to you. They're all looking at you like expectantly and looking at you all. They see you confused and they say, you new to town? You never had a cold one before?
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So what she does, this orc woman sets down several glasses, big, thick glasses in front of you on the bar, and she lines them up real straight in a line. And there we go. Did that pop up onto the bar?
Yeah, there's a bunch of drinks there.
So she lines them up real perfect up on the bar, and she walks over here, and everyone is kind of getting quiet, but they're looking real excited. And she takes her hand and goes kind of like this, does a finger guns, and with her one good eye is looking down her thumb. And the spellcasters of you recognize that she casts Ray of Frost through a bunch of glasses filled with ale. And the end result, once the puff of steam and frost clears, is these glasses that are just coated in rime frost. The top is just thick with flaky crystalline bits of the foam on this beer. It's a golden amber hue and just frigid. It almost hurts your fingers to touch the glass. And everyone around you lifts their glasses and says, Fogton! And clinks and goes back to their table.
Yeah.
I'll do the same. I'll pick up the glass and cheer them and then try to slam this as fast as I can and then probably get brain freeze and start slamming my fist onto the bar trying to fight off the major headache.
You have never experienced a cold one before because the cold one was invented here in Fogton. It is a long time tradition to cast chill touch on the beers here in order to get that specific Fogton cold brew. So it's one of the strangest types of beers you've ever had, but it's crisp, it's full bodied, it's flavorful, it's delicious, it's buttery, and most importantly, it is cold.
Yeah, breathing out, it's cold spicy.
You can see your breath come out as you take a sip. The young orc at the table looks over you and says, "Welcome to Fogton, Joe. Glad to meet you."
Is this in
Reese
Dwarvish
clinks
still?
their glass with her.
And she clinks with you and says, "Name's Arya Rotgut. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Name's Reese.
You all must be new to town. I'm a
Yeah.
bartender there. That's Stone, my mom. She runs a bar here." And Stone looks at all and he says, and again in broken Dwarvish says, "Great to meet you."
I don't know what you're saying.
And she says, I've been trying to brush up on my Dwarvish because we have so many Dwarvish patrons here. It just makes sense in the economy and the demographics of the town.
Of course.
I still got my Rosetta Stone." And she leans from behind the bar and pulls up a literal stone that has Dwarvish runes on it and Orcish runes on it.
An actual Rosetta Stone. I'm gonna try to get her attention.
Yeah, sure.
I'd be like,
and she walks over.
This is all great. but where can I get one of those? And I'm like pointing to this like big ass like turkey and ribs and everything. I'm like, I want that.
She says, just join the feast. It's all paid for.
Oh,
It's communal for the town.
I fall out of my chair and I run over and I just start just going at it.
Everything here in Fogton's paid for, Shug. We make all of our money from exports. Anything that's consumed here is free.
excellent.
We're more of a commune than a city.
Way different than the last city we were at.
Where'd y'all come from?
Shit. Corvosa?
Corvosa.
Oh yeah, they run things a little different there, huh?
Yeah, a little.
What
Everything
about
is
taxes?
taxed.
Oh, we don't have taxes here, none. Everyone just helps everybody for the greater good.
Town is great. I'm gonna go grab a turkey leg off the table and then go hover around the arm wrestling. What's going on with
Fantastic.
that?
And as you do, you can see that the dwarf and the orc have. The orc finally manages to slam down the dwarf's hand on the table. Ah! She stands up, and some gold is being thrust at her. And she collects her winnings, and a bunch of other people who bet on her collect their winnings as well. And it sort of dies down a little bit, but she eventually does go over to the bar and get one of the cold ones and sits back down.
I guess I'll.
So you walk up to her.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll walk up to her.
All right. She looks up to you and says, new skinny one, huh? Come on, sit down. Have a brew. Let's have a game.
Yeah, let's do that. My name is Demirius. What's yours?
Gurkha, and she slaps you on the shoulder.
Gurkha,
In a fun way.
Probably still too rough though. Like,
Yeah, still too rough for sure. You saw those arms that she has.
like.
It's still playful. You can tell she didn't mean it, but she definitely
for sure.
smacks you a little hard. Yeah.
And I'll give her a playful shove, I guess. Like,
You give her a chuck to the shoulder, and she just doesn't move. It's like punching rock. Just
yeah, rot gut for sure.
yeah. Yeah, sit down.
Yeah. How long you been? Well, I imagine you've been living here their whole life, huh?
Oh yeah, once you come, it's hard to leave,
It seems
especially
like
for the ones
that.
who were born here.
Yeah.
So, where are you from? You out of town? I've never seen your faces.
Well, actually, all of us are from different places. Myself, I'm from Druma.
Druma? Oh, that's a long ways off, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't get out of the town much. Well, what do you say to a
Understandable.
game? And she kind of rubs her shoulder, and then she kind of slams it down onto the oak table, and you can just see the sinew in her arms and the muscles.
Oh, I can't see. I'm not intimidated a little bit, but let's give it a try. Just a little stretch.
If you fail, I'm in next. And Reese just like walks over. They do not look like they're going to be strong, but everybody else saw what they can do in a boulder. So,
for
you
sure.
know. Yeah.
True. Okay. So you put your elbow up. Gurkha puts hers up. You clasp hands, and one of the dwarves goes and says, Gurkha's trying to go against the newbies. Come on. Who's got 20 on Gurkha? And a bunch of people say, no, newbie's gonna take Gurkha. Oh, no, newbie's gonna get his arse handed to him. And the coins and gold start flying around left and right. It's a different atmosphere from Eel's End, which you were at like an hour ago. Eel's End is very controlled. You go to the bookie, you put down your bet, they take a note, they take your money, then the fight happens, then you're given your gold. This is friendly nonsense flying everywhere. No one's keeping track of who owes what. It's just coins for the sake of gambling being thrown about chaotically. So first thing, one of the dwarves puts their hands on yours, and he has his cold one in the other, and in between drinks he's going 3, 2, 1.
Ah!
And then he lifts his hand up, and then you both start to go. So please give me an athletics check. Public,
Yes.
please.
Don't worry, if she takes your arm off, Zavi can put it back on.
True.
Mm.
Okay. You critically succeeded. She just succeeded. So this first part goes to you with BAM! Slam it down. And she goes, whoa. I see the newbie's a little better than he looks. But good thing it's 2 out of 3 here in Fogton.
Oh,
Line him
crap.
up. So go again.
I'm getting tired and my arm is sore. So smacking things around. Let's try again.
That is a success for both of you. So you are both
Just
doing that thing where it's kind of going back and forth. All of your muscles are straining. You're realizing just how tired you are from your day, but you're still kind of holding your own. All right. So roll again to see who becomes.
Yeah.
All right. It's going, but in this one, she's able to slowly push you down. Where in the first one, you slammed her down to the table. This was a slow overpower until she tapped you out. Got you this time.
Yeah,
right.
one more. Hold
Here's for
on.
the-
Cold one. I need motivation.
You know what? I like your style. And she gets and she yells over, Stone, cold ones. And Stone goes, cold ones. And she starts lining them up, fills the beer up, lines them, shoots the ray of frost through them, hands them out to everybody. One eventually makes its way to both of you. You're able, and she says, the Fogton special, drink while playing. And then she holds the brew up while her hand is up.
All right, let's do it.
3. And then the dwarf again. 3, 2, 1. Then roll. She starts slamming that beer. I want to. You both got exactly the same number. You both got 26.
Oh my god! All right.
I kind of want to. I'm gonna take a screenshot of it just to show you. But yeah, you both got 26. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that means
okay,
it's a
so
drawn out
move it
one.
just
You gotta
sitting
have to
there.
roll again, right?
In this one, you both failed. So I think both of you were so distracted by the cold one that you're both kind of wobbling back and forth, and there's no clear winner. Yeah?
Could I jump in and
Yes.
try to slam both of their arms down?
Yes, I like that. So how do you do this, Con? And I want an athletics check from you because these are muscly people.
I place-
if you can convince me to use it, you can use athletics. If you can convince me of why. Or I mean acrobatics. If you convince me of why you want to use it.
Well, first I'm gonna put my my mug down very nicely, so I don't break anything. I'm going to do like a few bounces on the stool, and then make a very graceful and precise leap up into the air over Demirius's head, and try to land with my feet on both of their arms.
I like it. Give me an acrobatics check publicly.
Will do.
You land on their hands, but both of them are so strong and so distracted with their cold one.
Fighting with her, still handing on her hands.
And you're actually finding it difficult to keep your balance. So one more time, Demirius, athletics.
All right.
All right. The DC for that was 30, which means you succeeded. But do you want to know what Gurkha got? 24. So she
Ooh,
failed.
crap.
So Demirius, in this moment, after you kind of gain your footing, it's almost like Popeye eating his spinach. You finish this cold one and it hits your stomach and you're invigorated and just slam, put it down and the place explodes. Ah!
As
Or
I-
coins start flipping off
As
the
I
table.
slam it down, like I imagine Khan's still on there, so like throwing off her balance, I'll like slam her arm and like lean down and like catch her, like before she falls off my hand, unless she does something otherwise.
It'd be very funny if I just fell on the ground. I will say that.
Yes,
I wouldn't let that happen.
tumbles. And you
But I
managed to catch it.
cheated. You have every right.
You were trying
I
to
did
help
a
both of us
crime.
out.
This place, no one cares about any of that. They're all just happy to have a good time. And then after that, Gurkha stands up and she says, "Ah, good one, good one." And
Yeah,
this
that was great.
this one's on me. And she goes over to the bar, grabs another cold one, and hands it to you.
Ugh,
So
my arm feels like a wiggle worm now.
we've been in their presence for at least like a minute or so, right?
Mhm.
I want to do biographical eye on her.
Oh, heck yeah. On Gurkha?
Yeah.
All right, sure. What does that do again?
So even in a brief conversation or social interaction, you pick up the subtle social visual cues to learn a great deal about a person's origin and history. You might notice bits of green under the person's fingers and determine they're an herbalist, or a pin indicating their membership in secret society or something similar. You pick up details that have to do with their society role, so you might learn the city district where vampire lives, but you wouldn't necessarily learn any of their weaknesses nor if they are a vampire. So I have to spend
Sure.
at least a minute in their presence.
You definitely were there. You've been here more than a minute for sure. So getting
Yeah.
a read on Gurkha, you've kind of picked up that she's probably not related to the Rotguts. She's probably just another orc in the town. But because of the, you notice that on her clothes there's like grain husks.
They have to roll a
small-
society on her.
Yeah, sure.
or-
Give me that in the tower. Society check.
I think that's what I'd have to roll anyway, but
Yeah.
just-
For sure. Society. All right. You
just
can
use it as
tell
any extra
that.
detail.
Yeah, you can tell that because of the grain husks on her clothing that she probably works at one of the breweries here in town, which is fairly common. Most of the people here in town are either work at the breweries or they're hunters or farmers providing food for the community. It's a self-sustaining community. All of the goods that they need come from exporting their ale. But beyond that, you don't really get a good read on her. She seems just like pretty common folk. You're used to dealing with more royalty. Highfalutin ambassador type people. These are Bumpkin Mountain Village people, essentially. These are honest to goodness, salt of the earth type folk. Folk is a good word for these people.
Folk, yeah.
Yes, these aren't people;
Okay.
they're folk.
I love that. So I go over to her like, "Hey, so I have a proposition for you."
What's that? Want to rack them up? And
You-
she slams her arm up. on
I
the table.
do. And I grab her arm and I grab her hand and I just kind of like caress her hand a little and wink. And like, I win and I get to take you on a date. And you win, you can decide whatever you want.
You see the green go kind of purple under the eyes right here. And she's kind of stammers. Deal, small one.
Yeah. Oh fuck, I forgot my ears. And I had
Okay,
ears
you're
the
a
whole
half-
time.
You're a half
Charming
elf.
elf
Or are you
boy.
full elf?
Huh?
Are you half elf or full elf?
Full elf.
Full elf. Nice. All right, so I'm gonna do something on my end because actually give me. Let's see. So you're flirting. I want you to roll me.
Make a flirt check.
Right,
If I have
right.
10 charisma, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, charisma based. So let's just call that a diplomacy check in the tower. Just throw that in the tower.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Action skills, right?
Yeah, skills. Diplomacy.
Okay, let's see.
Okay. All right. So Gurkha lines up her arm again, and she's still kind of shaking her head from that moment. It's just, everybody on three, and one of the dwarves come up. 1, 2, and 3, and go. So go ahead and roll an athletics check for me publicly in the chat.
Wait, hold on. I take 1 week off, and I don't know where anything is.
Skills, athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just in the chat, please.
Oh wait, I did it in private. Hold on.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, throw it in the regular chat.
Oh,
That was better than what you rolled.
Hmm.
So in this first one, you can see that your elfish wiles definitely distracted Gurkha enough to be able to pretty easily slam her hand down onto the table. She's, beginner's luck. It's 2 out of 3. And she's kind of stammering and getting a little embarrassed and flustered and frustrated. So
I'd give her a wink. Just like, of course.
give me another diplomacy in the tower and add a
Okay, hold
+1.
Diplomacy +1.
Okay. All right. So she lines up her arm again and says, I'll get you this time, Elf. For sure. Go ahead and roll your athletics check. Slam! You knock her hand down to the table effortlessly. Again, and the dwarf behind her goes, 2 out of 3, Gurkha. The elf beat Gurkha. And everyone just starts laughing and high-fiving. Coins are being traded back and forth. You pretty soundly beat her. No, I guess that means I get to cook you dinner then.
Absolutely. And because I just gave her like a once over, and that's when I'll do like my biographical eye kind of thing. Like, and you can whip me up one of your favorite brews. You look like you know what you're doing.
And again, the purple at the cheeks deepens because green and red makes purple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
The purple under the eye on the cheeks, brownish purple deepens. You can tell she's not used to being flirted with, and like in this manner at least. So she
Reese
says,
is very bad at flirting too, so it's great.
You could never tell because you're doing a great job.
Yeah. You always kill it. And so Gurkha says, I'll find something with cinnamon. And then she embarrassedly, like she is embarrassed and is running away quickly. Yes, and Gurkha quickly makes her way out of the tavern, blushing a brilliant purple.
I imagine as she does like a football like linebacker, like tackles someone out of the way as she goes.
When she gets to the door, she shoulder checks Pop, the brother of Dirge, over at the door.
Speaking of, I think at this point, Zavid is cartoonishly full and is going to hobble over and kind of collapse here next to you, Demirius.
Just let out a giant belch.
I think I just ate a whole turkey.
Yeah, I think you ate most of the things on that table.
Lady, I'm sorry, what was your name? She's talking to the bartender.
It's Stone.
Stone. You wouldn't happen to have a son named Dirge, would you?
Dirge, of course. He's my biggest little baby, my oldest child, baby child.
He's a big baby, isn't he?
Oh, he's just my biggest little baby, man, baby.
Ah, yes.
And
well,
she immediately reaches under the counter and pulls out this little clay tablet that has like a chiseling of baby Dirge naked laying on a bearskin rug.
And I got these pictures,
And she's just pulling out these embarrassing like drawings and paintings of Dirge as a baby and just going off and gushing as soon as you mention it.
this is wonderful. This is more than I ever could have hoped for. I'm gonna just introduce us. I'd be like, we're actually friends of Dirge's. He's sort of
so
kind
great.
of he's on a bit of a spiritual path right now, some druids, working with them, doing some pretty crazy cool stuff. But we decided to come to Fogton to visit some friends and also to check in with his family.
Oh, we appreciate that. He's been gone so long, but it's great to hear he's doing good. And well,
Working with druids, that makes sense. He's always up at the top of the, and she says the word mountain in Dwarvish, but more like mountagne, really bad pronunciation but in Dwarvish. So yeah, he's been studying up at the mountain, I don't know, the mountagne, like it's bad. And he always did like meeting up with that druid beat up at the top of the mountagne.
Yeah, it's I guess I never really asked him how he got started with all that stuff, but like, did he start here? Because I know when I met him, he was just really good at punching things. He would do this mountain stance, and he'd become like a rock, and then he'd do like a single punch, and someone's brains would fly out the back of their head,
That sounds like something that Beat taught him. That
Okay.
weird hermit.
Be the weird hermit. I like him already.
Beet. With a T.
Beat.
Like the
Beets
root
with a-
vegetable.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. So.
If you need to talk to him, I can give you directions.
That would
Just
be
up
great.
the mountain, just up the mountain a ways.
Do we have to? Is it like a test to climb the mountain? Like only the worthy can talk to Beat or something, or is it just like a walk up?
Well, it just depends on the weather. On a nice day, you can get right up, but if the fog and the snow's coming in, it can be a little treacherous along one part.
Okay. Interesting. So, how many children do you have?
I, out of character, don't remember if there's. Hold on, I have it. Where is the Fogton map? Dirge's family. Okay, there's.
Well, there's me. I'm Stone. My husband Roland. Then there's Dirge, our oldest, and then there's Jazz, Pop, Rock, and Aria.
So that's Dirge, Jazz, Pop, Rock, Art.
So we have 5 children total. 7 rock guts. Lucky number.
I see. Okay.
Are any of you musically inclined?
There it is. All of that was Jake, the music thing. And Beat as well.
Yeah, Beat. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we did ask that out loud, like, "Oh, you guys musically inclined?"
Well, we like to sing while we work, but our main interest lies in, well, as my husband would say, ale and ale accessories.
Excellent.
Zvi turns to the other rock guy. He goes, "Which one are you?"
My name's Aria. I'm the littlest one. I'm Dirge's little sister.
You're the baby sister. Dirge talked about you a lot. You are his
Oh, that's
favorite.
nice.
But don't tell the others.
No, they pretty much already know that.
That's fair. Well, it's kind of sun's down at this point, so we probably aren't going to be traveling up any mountains tonight. But is there a place we can stay in the city or
And
town?
Stone looks to you and says, y'all can stay here. We have some beds upstairs. And as a matter of fact, bam!
What happened? How did we get here?
Scared.
I guess we were walking up these stairs. Is kind of
Yeah.
how that worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I would give it. I'd just make it ready. So there
There's
you go.
like a whole
There's the
other
upstairs.
fucking place up here.
This is more for. And Stone leads you up here, and she says, or Arya, the young one, leads you up here, and she says,
This place we mostly keep reserved for private venues, parties, things like weddings, things like that. We've also had a couple of fado-dos and dance halls up here before, but again, it's mostly private. But there's
That's
plenty of
cool.
beds and rooms up here for you to stay at. And if you get peckish at any time, day or night, just go down to the kitchen and take y'all something.
Okay. Well, how do you get into these rooms? Where's the doors to these rooms?
Good question. I'm unsure.
I think the doors
it
are
comes
like
in from the
like these
big-
little spots.
Yeah. It comes in from that big main room, and then there's like a door that's usually for like parents, and then the offshoot that's for like children. This is definitely like a family type place, but
well, I don't want to take up somebody else's bed, so I'll take a couch.
no, I don't mean it like those beds are for people to like this is an inn, so they aren't owned by someone. But it's just like it's an inn that's mostly set up for a family style of guest. You know what I'm saying? This is a roadside friendly family tavern. This isn't like a roadside bar.
I gotcha.
Yeah. But is there anything else anyone would like to do before sleeps?
No, I think we're all pretty exhausted after the day we've had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lumby, can you remind me who the person we were supposed to contact for the dragon scales was?
You were told to contact Beat, the dwarf in Fogton.
There
and
we go.
Zvid, your message was to seek the hermit of Fogton, and you heard Stone call Beat that crazy old dwarf hermit. So yes, that is pretty much the dude you're looking for, both of you. So yes.
I think someone in the Twitch said that they can't see the second floor; they only see the downstairs still.
That's weird.
Oh,
yeah.
Abe, do you see it on your screen?
He might be AFK. And
let me reload it then. Boop.
Oh.
Did that change the map any?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So there's nothing else before bed?
No.
Okay. So all of you are able to drift off into a very easy sleep after the day you've had. Again, training, meeting a queen, gambling, meeting a crime lord, being attacked by elementals, traveling through the shadow plane, being attacked by Leng Ghouls, helping a trapped orc in his bear, having an arm wrestling competition, and drinking the coldest beers you've ever had in your life.
And winning.
All of you drift off into a seriously deep, wonderful sleep. In the morning, you wake up, you're able to do your morning preparations, get yourself some food. There's already some sausages and things left on the table ready to be eaten. There's cold ones if you want them, but they always understand here in Fogton if it's a little too cold in the mornings for ye. But as soon as you rise, Zvid and Stone sees you and says, "Oh, morning! Here, y'all needed directions up the mountain. Let me help y'all out." And she shows you draws a rudimentary map similar to this, and shows you that you see in the very top left there's a bit of a cave entrance, a little triangular stone. There's like a road leading up to it in the top left corner of that. Well, either way, that's the direction she points you at, and says, "You just got to go up that mountain through the pass and just be mindful of the thin road. But at the top of the mountain, you should be able to find him. The path goes pretty much straight there."
Thank you for your help, and thank you for the hospitality.
Of course, y'all are welcome in Fogton at any time. So, you're walking out. Do all of you show up, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you would like to do in the town before setting off?
I gotta get all my stuff prepared. I'm not ready for the day.
Sure. Yeah, we can say that you're getting the usuals, right? I assume Ant Hall.
I'm not 100% on what I'm getting yet, because I don't know what to expect.
Right, sure.
What's our game plan for the day? Like, what our goals are?
There you go. You guys can plan ahead. I won't take over.
All I know is I have a date tonight, so that'll happen when that'll happen. Otherwise, we can do whatever. Want to tackle the business first? We tackle the business. We want to go elsewhere? We can do that. I'm down for anything.
If we go and visit this helmet up in the mountain, and I do get the dragon scales that I need, I guess.
That's That's what we need. Dragon scales. I was trying to say why are we here without saying why are we here.
Oh, speaking of materials, I'll pull out all those drugs that I took and like give them the con.
Why do you have those?
Well, I went back when they all ran away, and I ran in and took them. I didn't want them to sell them to people so they could get hurt.
Okay.
But I figured maybe you could find something useful to do with these that could aid us in a way and not harm people.
Oh, that's very very thoughtful of you.
Yeah.
She's like reading through them. Oh, I think this one helps you focus.
Just be
Lumpy,
careful not to.
You as you figured out the other day, these are all very illegal. You're quite surprised that Demirius has these on his person.
Just don't give him the wrong one.
Yeah. So the plan is the plan to go to try and find Beat up the mountain?
Yeah.
Okay.
And were the dragon scales the only thing I needed before I could
Yes.
practice
That is all you need.
practice my alchemical nonsense?
That's right. The only thing you have a bottle of the precursor. All you really need is the powdered dragon scales, then to like boil it together, essentially. Basic little alchemical trick, and then it's done.
Yeah,
You just need this
gotcha.
one catalyst. But yeah, so you all set off from the Brood Awakening, heading up out of the town. Everyone waves to you as you go. No one seems to be giving you the stink eye or anything. And you're going through these passages, and they're winding and very steep, going almost straight up in spots. And quickly you can see that the path stops being the well-worn cobblestone road and starts being essentially just a footpath or a goat path, even barely more than a goat path. I'd like people to give me a perception check in the tower, please. Just everybody.
Okay. Perception check.
Persorption.
What do I perceive today? Also, one of the spells I want to cast, I always have it prepared. I want to get Phantom Steed up and get Rot Trot out.
Oh, hell yeah, Rot Trot. I have...
Yeah,
We're gonna be going up a mountain.
As we are traveling as well, as soon as like things start getting like less familiar, I do want to have Warden Step on us.
Oh yeah, what's that do again?
That can guide your allies to move quietly through the wilderness. When you avoid notice during exploration in natural terrain, you can designate any number of your allies to gain benefits as if they were using activity during that exploration. It requires no action on their part.
Wait, I don't think I followed that. It does what now?
Okay,
Let me read it. What's it called?
Warden Step.
Warden Step? The ones you just got? Okay, Warden Step. When you avoid notice during exploration, natural training. Oh, wow, that's very cool. So that means that if you are sneaking through the terrain and you don't get seen by whatever is there, neither do your allies. That's really cool because you have a clanky paladin in the group.
Yes, we do.
So you're teaching them kind of how to step in between, because that actually is a good way to segue into what I was going to say. Zavid, as you're casting your spell, bringing forth Rot Trot, your mostly rotten vampire horse that has since gotten a bridle since you've powered it up, Reese, you notice that the snow is starting to come down a bit as you're walking. The fog is rolling in a little faster and harder. And as you're as you're walking past, it's starting to get a little worse and worse. And this inside cavern opens up into a sheer drop to your left. that you really can't see the bottom of due to the pooling fog down beneath you. The fog above you is just rolling off the mountain like a waterfall, as well as the snow that's being blown through the wind with it. The path in front of you is fairly narrow. It's wide enough that two of you can walk shoulder to shoulder, but it is very clearly not meant for carts, things like that. But you're fairly certain Rot Trot can probably get by okay on here. But has that map loaded for you? Because this is what you see. Yes, fantastic. And so you know, coming into this area, with all of this fog, the small walkway, and the snow that's coming down hard, this is greater difficult terrain.
Okay. I was just looking at Safe Passage, which I've prepared before when we were in the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just double check the wording on that, because I think that's really useful in this moment.
And Khan also has a thing in her inventory that was just given to her that could potentially help, in case you forgot. Given to you by Jofio.
Oh, it was one of the potions.
Yes. And since that was just last night, it would be fresh in Khan's memory.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Wanderer's Guide. You call upon the Beyond to guide your route. When you cast a spell, choose a destination, top of the mountain. Receive an inspired route to that destination, allowing you and allies who travel overland with you to reduce the movement penalty from difficult terrain by half for the duration, as long as you don't deviate from the inspired route. This doesn't have any effect on movement during encounters. If you use this ability again before the duration is over, the effect ends and is replaced with a new route. So this duration is until I prepare my next spells. So I would use a third level spell slot to get us to the top, I think.
Heck yes. So that makes the greater difficult terrain, is that it?
I believe so, yeah. It cuts it down to half.
All right.
We can do it quietly.
Yeah, that means, and you can do it quietly because of Reese. So Reese, please just give me a stealth check in the tower, and I will put that across for everyone. Unless, Khan, if you want to roll your own stealth check, you may do that as well, which I would understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do my own stealth.
Okay.
I don't follow anybody's rules. In the dice tower, or
Dice tower, please. Yes. Stealth. Let's see what you get. Okay. So, you have this spell. The Zavid. How do you describe what do they see when you cast this weird spell you haven't cast in forever?
Wanderer's Guide creates to me this little kind of almost like when you're playing a game and it's telling you where to go and there's that little sparkling trail to follow. It's like that. It's up the path, but it's like not directly straight. It's kind of around this part and around that part to avoid certain areas where the snow is deep and you might have to trudge really slow to get through, or places where the snow's really firm so you can walk on that instead because it's faster and safer.
Okay.
Like that essentially.
The trail of wispy, sparkling smoke actually shows you two spots you wouldn't have noticed. You can see it clearly on the map that there's giant cracks in the walkway. And as you said, the little wispy thing very obviously avoids those, and it goes kind of out of its way to bounce up and down near them to point them out and show you that those are kind of unsafe spots to walk. But then it keeps going off to past your vision out of the fog. But there is still a trail behind it. You just can't see where the new trail heads.
I'll try to lead everybody. I'll say, it is dangerous, but I believe I've used a bit of magic to guide us past some of the pitfalls on this trail. Be very careful.
All right, and now that you're in the open air with this cold, snowy fog, I need everyone to give me a fortitude save publicly, just as this cold hits you. It's shocking.
Yes, let's all die. Aw.
I'm fine.
Reese and Demirius, you two are kind of bundled up in your armor, all this leather. You're really quite toasty. Khan and Zavid, you both fail, but not critically. Khan, you got close to critically failing. So the two of you are actually going to be slowed 1 for this. So you only have like 2 actions per round. I'm not going to actually give you the slowed condition, but for the sake of like counting your movement, you can only have 2 actions. Because this cold is just, it's biting. And you know that when it's really wet outside and it's cold and it kind of chills you to the bone, that's what this cold is. So what's our walking order for getting across here?
I moved myself up a little bit closer to Zavid since I am fine and faster.
Absolutely.
I think, but what about Rotrot? Rotrot doesn't need to make a save, does he?
Rotrot does not need to make a save. That's true. But if you do something, you will. So yeah, that's right.
Sure.
So only Khan, I guess, is slowed.
Is Khan is it obvious that you're like slowed down?
Yeah,
and going
you can probably
slower?
hear like the little like chatter of my teeth.
The buck teeth.
Yeah.
Can I pick her up and like wrap her in my cloak and like hold her like in front of me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like E.T.
Yeah.
Hold her like E.T. Yes, you absolutely can. So
For the little baby.
Yeah, the baby Bjorn.
What's it?
Baby Yoda.
Bjorn.
Oh, and a Bjorn, yes. That's fantastic. So we've got Zavid and Reese, and then Demirius and holding Khan, and then we'll have Danny somewhere in the middle. How's about that?
That works.
So, Khan, if you'd like, you can use that potion or not. That is up to your choice. But you are aware that you have it.
Yeah. What does the potion do again?
That's a great question. It's called Winter something. Winter Step Elixir. This frigid white elixir widens your feet and lightens your step, enabling you to walk across ice and snow without difficulty. You ignore the uneven ground of difficult terrain caused by ice and the difficult terrain caused by snow, reducing greater difficult terrain caused by ice or snow to ordinary difficult terrain. The duration is 10 minutes. So it basically turns your feet into snowshoes.
Yeah, that sounds a little horrifying. So I'll hold on to it.
All right.
Because I have people who can carry me like a little baby.
That's fair. Okay, so you can go ahead and start walking across there. And
okay. And then I see the dealio, and I'm like, okay, around this.
The path, what curves around it. Okay. Then about when you get to there, and I'll place everyone else up as with. Demirius, you're like here-ish. Khan, you're up there as well.
Yep.
Everyone give me a perception check in the tower.
Is that for all of us?
Yes, everybody.
Okay.
Khan, you pretty much have like the blanket and the cloak up in your ears, so you don't really hear anything. But Zavid, Demirius, and Reese, all of you hear a loud rumbling from directly above you. And just as you're able to look up, you see a large amount of snow falling down the mountain directly towards you. And I need all of you to give me reflex saves. Not Khan, though, because you're being held.
Yeah. I'm incapacitated.
Yep, you are incapacitated. You are at the mercy of Demirius's reflex save.
Can I?
Good one.
Can I shoot my?
Wait, no, that's not coming.
My sunblade at it to try to split it and melt it?
Interesting. You know what? Sure, I like it.
Okay.
As your reaction instead of a reflex, I like it. Zavid, you are easily able to tumble out of the way without any issue, so you can get to there. Reese,
I almost thought that was a 1, by the way.
Oh yeah,
not
the 7
quite.
looks very similar.
That is a fail, but not a critical fail. So you're going to take 3d6 bludgeoning damage, and but you are able to keep your footing. So Reese, you take 11 damage.
That's fine.
Okay. And then Demirius, I'm interested. Show me that attack.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a melee or a spell attack, right? Ranged spell attack.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. You know what? I like it, and you beat the DC by 6, so I like it. Demirius, without moving his feet firmly planted in the snow, with his one arm holding Khan, the other holding his weapon, his fauchard given to him from Sarenrae herself, reaches up, points at the snow, releases a burning blade of light at this thing, and the snow, well, let's see, it splits in two like this. As it's falling down the mountain, all of this snow, there we go, yeah, I can do it like this. All of it just goes past all of you like this. Zavid, you're able to dodge out of the way this way, but for the rest of you, the snow, Demirius's blade slices it in two, and it slides past you without any ill problems. Heck yeah.
Ooh. I'm not moving very fast in snow and plate armor carrying somebody, so that was my instinct to try to just blow it up.
Fantastic. That was great. So at this point, all of you are able to make it across with little issue. Well done.
Yeah.
So you have a moment while I set something up.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Can I give Demirius the potion?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Oh, all right. This is gonna be weird. Do I have to take my boots off?
No, it will mold your boots as well. So you
It just works.
You drink this potion and your feet, like, they almost melt like a wax candle and get wide and thick, and your boots go along with it like a wax statue being melted. But you find that it gives you much more purchase on the ground. You're able to track through the snow much more easily.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
Yep. And the rest of this way, Demirius is able to kind of lead the charge up the mountain. But once you get past that point, the snow begins to cease. The fog never lets up, but the snow does eventually stop. As you're walking around, you see the trees are covered in frost. It's a cold, cold morning. Your breath comes out in huge, billowing puffs. There's so much breath you can see when you're breathing. And finally, in a break in the trees, you see a small wood and stone cottage. And you see a small little frozen pond with a small boat next to it. And you see, sitting beneath one of the frozen trees, reading from a book, an old dwarvish man with a silver beard, silver eyebrows, and silver hair. And he just seems to be reading from a small nondescript book. He doesn't seem to notice you because of Reese.
I'd scare the crap out of him, but whoops.
Is any of that loaded, like the map and the image of
It's a very
the
big
dwarf?
map, so no.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll give that just a hot second. It's actually not that huge. It must just be a big file.
Probably.
I should have loaded these ahead of time with a.
In this unknown expanse that I can't see before me, I sense there's a man up ahead. I'm thinking we should call out to him, so I'm gonna go, "Hail, beats of the mountain!"
And he gets kind of startled. He looks up and oh, hey there. Come on in. Always nice
my
to have
God.
friends and new
My
neighbors.
God.
Oh my god, okay, John London.
Name is
I
Beat.
get-
Beat Tells. Wonderful to meet you.
I can't, actually, I'm not gonna move because I can't tell where I'm going. Go back. hold
Dang
on.
it. You're actually right on the path.
I figured it's
You were
something like
perfectly
there.
along the small stone path.
Yeah.
Oh, now
You're
it's there. Holy crap.
there. Did it load
Yeah,
finally?
it's a big file. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It must be a very high quality file. Props to whoever made this, because it's a very high quality map. I've been sitting on it forever. The thing that says Beats Fishing Hut, I kind of had to edit a bunch of stuff to make that so correct, but it's fine. So did that finally load for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good,
Yes.
good. And the picture of the dwarf did as well?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fabulous. So that is what you see. And Zavid, as you walk up to him, out of the corner of your eyes, your necromancer instincts start to tingle. And you look over and you're shocked at something that you see in the frozen lake in front of you. You see the skeletal remains of a very big dragon. But then the dwarf says, "Hail, nice to meet you. Great to have friends and neighbors. Name's Beat Els. What's yours?"
The name is David. I am joined by my companions.
Hail.
Companions, introduce yourselves to Beat.
I don't think
Curious.
I wanna.
I'd assume that like Anna's probably still wrapped up.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the signal that the coast is clear to make a dramatic entrance.
Oh, yeah. We're
You're a little quiet, Abe.
Yeah, I could drop.
oh
the
sorry.
volume.
There you go.
Yeah, we're okay now. There's this weird dwarf guy. I don't know if you wanna.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Scrambling noises. Ha!
Oh, wow. You're quite the sneaky one, aren't you? Oh, where are my manners? Come on, come inside. You've had a long walk, you have. Hey, come on. I'll make
I
some tea.
appreciate that you're not freaked out by my horse. That's very,
Oh,
it's a
no,
very
I've-
good thing.
I've seen some strange things up on this mountain in my time. And he lets you inside. And he goes over to his fireplace and begins to...
I'm gonna
prepare some-
usher in Demirius and Danny. I'm like, I need a second, and I'm gonna look down at that thing.
Mhm.
I wanna make some sort of check. I wanna see, is this within my ability to raise?
Give me an occultism check.
You don't just come across the bones
Yeah.
of a dead dragon.
Occultism
and
in a
not
tower.
not consider
yeah,
that.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I assumed you were going to
occultism.
roll for that. Occultism at the tower, yes. Okay.
Oh, tower. Sorry.
No,
Wow.
it's fine. It's fine. I'll roll it over. You are certain that you are not strong enough to raise this thing. But it is solidly stuck in that ice. It's probably not going anywhere for a while. But you are certain you could not raise that.
Okay. I'll make a mental note. I'm like, I'll be back for you. Don't go anywhere. Shh, just stay right there. I go inside.
Gremlin.
So what brings you to the top of the mountain? He says as he starts to steep some or to heat up some tea.
We just loved your albums, especially your solo ones.
Oh yeah, thanks. Had a lot going for me for a while, but the group thing just wasn't working.
At least you cut your hair too. Or I mean, you didn't cut you let it grow. Is what I mean.
Been letting it go for a long time. It really pisses off the squares.
Oh, it was fun to do.
May we sit?
Oh, of course, make yourselves at home. My
Like a
cabin's
con-
your cabin.
Like canonically, we just all agreed that this is John Lennon, and you've rolled with it, and nobody questioned it. We're just kind of moving to the plot now. Like,
Yeah.
cool, all right.
I'm gonna hang out with the cat on the bed.
Hey,
Ooh.
I just behind the screen a little bit. Jake created this NPC Beat. He's in Dirge's backstory, but he didn't give him a last name. He just named him Beat. So I took advantage of it. Anyway,
Beat Lennon.
That's- yeah, Beat Els like Beatles. So I took.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
his name is
you.
Beat Els.
He tells.
Yeah, I didn't give him a last name, so he's Beat Els. Anyway, so yes, make yourselves comfortable. You might be able to find a snack on the table, and there's some like dried meats and some bread. Nothing special. This guy's clearly a hermit.
So, you. Obviously, people don't just walk up the mountain for no reason. You know somebody, a friend of ours named Dirge, who I believe came
yeah.
up here.
The oldest rot gut. He used to come up here all the time as a boy. Told him everything I knew about fighting.
Yes, it served him well, saved many of our lives, multiple times over. but we were in the neighborhood and we knew that this was Dirge's hometown. We thought we'd visit and check in on family. Also, I'm sure there's like an etiquette here of like small talk and then eventually getting to it. But the main reason why we're here, I'm too cold for the small talk. We're looking for an alchemical ingredient. Khan, you can fill him in on exactly what you need.
Well, it's nice to meet you. I love your music. But you see, I'm a bit of an alchemical genius. And for my new
I could see the green on your
pièce de
hands.
résistance, I'm in need of an extremely rare ingredient. Dragon scales. Were they bronze? Copper?
Gold.
Gold dragon scales.
And when you say that, he kind of drops a spoon a little bit and it clanks on the teapot. He looks over and he says, "Gold dragon scales. Those are mighty powerful ingredients that you're asking for. But you're saying your friend's a dirge.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly you be needing these for? If I might be so bold as to inquire."
I'll like look around the room, kind of wondering how much context does this guy need?
We're going to rule the world.
Not really. Jesus.
That's a funny joke he has. No, we don't want to rule the world. Our friend Danny, this potion that I'm making, it's to help Elle find her lost siblings.
I'll see. Finding family's important.
And when we find them, we will rule the world.
David.
I'm just trying to make it more exciting.
I know, but we're here to save the world, not rule it.
And he kind of gets up and wanders around as the tea is steeping, and he's listening to you talk. And he kind of goes over to this desk and he's looking. He picks up essentially like a photograph, but it's a piece of wood. He kind of looks at and he brings it over and he puts it down on the table. And I made this, so I may as well share it. It says, "I too lost someone a long time ago. This is my Gwen." And it's a hand-painted piece of wood, like a disc of wood, that shows a young, strapping dwarf man fishing in a creek with fiery red hair and beard, and a beautiful human woman crouching next to him with long blonde hair. And he says, "Anything to help you find and keep your family safe is worth it enough for me. I think I've got what you need. Come with me. Don't forget the tea." He kind of walks away over to this side of the he opens a door and out to the backyard, and he says, "I don't get much chance to show people around at all, but no one's been down here in 23 years. And he opens this, brushes aside a bunch of snow off the ground and opens up this small little trap door. And what are we getting close to time, or are we good for a while?
We've got like 25 minutes-ish.
Okay.
4:30.
Okay, I want to finish this up. Is that okay for everybody?
That's fine.
Yes.
All right, great. So I've got just a tiny bit more I want to get through. So let me share this map with you here. Okay, so he opens up this trap door, and it leads to a spiral staircase going down into the ground beneath you. And he leads you down. He says, "Come on, just watch your head. The tolerance is a little low. You'll probably be fine." Pointing at Khan. It comes down to the bottom, and it's this very cold stone area. It's got a couple of rooms, and when you get to the bottom of the staircase, you notice at the far end there's small little rooms that aren't really cells, but they have gates in front of them, and there are some goats that he keeps behind them. Has that map loaded yet?
Not quite yet.
Not quite. Curses. So he leads you in and he says, "This is where I keep my animals. I don't use them for food or pets, but they come in out of the cold and they just use this area here. But this is where I keep all of my special alchemical ingredients. don't get much calls to sell them. I don't sell them to many people, but come on in. And he leads you to this small room that has a desk with some jars, some potions, some papers, things of that nature. Is that still not loaded, or are we good?
Still not loaded.
Still nothing.
We're taking.
Am I
it
walking
what's
through
there.
walls? I don't know.
I don't know why it's so laggy. That's so frustrating. Well, he's showing you around a little bit, and you can see that there's a table here with some plates and such to show that he occasionally would have more people than just him here. But you can see that there's just one plate, so it's usually just him eating. There's a small library here that just has a couple of. They aren't really like textbooks or library books, the kind of tomes you would expect in this place. They look kind of like normal little journal-y type notebooks. And the path leads on around into an exit up to the north, but it kind of goes into a broken section that seems to be, this section here is more carved out of actual hewn stone, but it seems that as you would continue on down this pathway, that it goes into the rough mountain itself, into a sort of cavern. I'm just trying to riff here until this loads. Are we good or no?
Not yet.
Not yet, I don't know what's going on. So that's fine. So he brings you into his alchemical room
there.
here. I don't know why this is taking. Huh? Yeah,
It's
we
good.
good?
Yeah.
Hey, fantastic. I was just trying to riff there until we got it. So he brings you into this small room where he has this a big clay jar that he has on the ground there, just above him, to the right of you, Khan. It has very intricate symbols and carvings on it. And actually, if anyone reads this, you'll be able to read this, but if you can't, you can't. You see that there are depictions of dragons all along this this clay pot. One gold, one silver. They appear to be intertwining, and you see there are runes that say this. If anyone is able to read that,
I can.
And in his tongue, he was known by Dova King, Dragonborn.
Essentially.
Can I, since we've been with him for about a minute, I want to do another biographical eye to see, like, obviously I know his career profession, but I want to see if I can, like, see if,
Absolutely.
like, he's struggling at this point, or if there's anything, like, I can pick up more so about him that he might not be trying to let on.
Sure, give me a society check in the tower.
Yep.
And Zavid, was there something you wanted to say?
Not really. I guess I'm just kind of following around. This is more like, I mean, Con and Reese seem to have a better like grasp on this situation. I'm just sort of like looking at stuff. Maybe like when he's not looking, like touching something, maybe something falls and I'm like putting it back and trying to like make sure nothing breaks.
As you're doing that and absent-mindedly wandering around, can I kind of move your character a little bit?
Sure.
Since you said you're just wandering around.
Mhm.
So you're kind of wandering around, you're looking at these animals, there's sheep, there's goats, you pet them, they're fine. There's this library of boring books you don't really care about. And as you get to about here, you hear in your mind, follow the path. So Reese, what you get, you've been watching this guy for a while, and the one thing you noticed is that all of you, when you're breathing, you see big puffs of your breath, but his breath, there's nothing when he talks or breathes. You don't see it. That's the only thing you pick up on. But Khan, back to you, he reaches into this big jug and he pulls up 3 dragon scales that shimmer brighter than any gold coin you've ever seen. Immaculate, not a single scratch on them. And he says, how many you need? Would 3 be enough?
She like flips through her notes to look up the number that she needs.
You need 1. So you know that 3 would more than suffice.
Do I want to steal from this man?
This guy taught Dirge on how to like kill people.
I'll just take the one.
Okay. Just the one then. All right.
Just the one.
Need it crushed then. Yeah, here you go. And he kind of puts the other two back and he looks at the one. And he kind of just looks at it wistfully for a couple of seconds. And he puts it in a mortar and he grabs a pestle and he starts grinding it up. And, he's casting some spells at it at the same time, adding some solvents, kind of really working this thing. And for the moment, I'm going to switch back over to Zavid. So you heard that in your mind. What do you do?
I'm going to walk down this path that I assume it's the voice is talking about.
Mm-hmm. And as you do, you get kind of I don't want to call it a scent because it's not a physical thing that you're smelling, but it's almost like there's something drawing you through this tunnel. It's not like a will save drawing you, it's not against your will, but you're being drawn through here. And as you do, you get near the end. And again, there's a break in the wall in the mountain. And you look out and you're stunned at what you see. In front of you is a vast valley. You're near the top of Mount Fogton, one of the tallest mountains in the area. You see peaks left and right. As far as you can see, there's clouds of fog everywhere in front of you. But there's one thing that catches your eye most of all. Leaning up against a mountainside, sprawled across the side, a sword through its chest, the size of a mountain itself, is a truly massive humanoid skeleton. Within your mind, you hear it again, the familiar voice of Cabriri. However, you don't feel the cold, familiar tug. Your vision remains a strange change.
Your power grows with each passing day, Umbromancer. I am impressed at your progress and devotion. The shadows in your mind have begun to coalesce in your understanding. Your eyes can finally see as we commune. In time, speaking with me will become as simple as speaking to your friends. Look before you. What do you see?
I see a goal to achieve.
Yes, a goal. Correct. You have shown nothing but loyalty, nothing but fealty to me and my cause. You have never questioned my methods, and it will not go unrewarded. Umbromancer Zavid, I present to you a fallen god. In the Great War, Urgathoa was not the original god of undeath. What you see before you was. In the war, it was laid low, and Urgathoa took its essence and became the god. Urgathoa is a usurper. And I, in turn, shall usurp her throne. You shall help. My reward to you, Zavid, is this creature's true name. Eshtabai.
Eshtabai, how do you spell that?
Yeah. I have I'm lightheaded. All right.
Yeah, you were making me lightheaded with that
water,
voice.
my goodness.
Yeah. So I'm dropping this in your inventory. It's called the Legendary True Name Amulet. Around your neck, it appears. This amulet this amulet is a small, nondescript, polished black stone, flat and round like a river rock. A thinly braided chain of cold iron attaches with a locking clasp. A gift from Cabriri himself. The secret it contains has long since been forgotten by mortals. If a creature has greater dark vision, it can peer into the shadows within the stone. The swirling darkness reveals the true name of the slain death god, whose mantle was usurped by Urgathoa. And as this comes onto your neck, and you invest it, you, Zavid, gain latent greater dark vision.
Latent? What does that mean?
You just gain it. You don't have to cast a spell or anything. You just have greater dark vision. The way that Danny just has beast speech and can talk to animals, you just have greater dark vision now. As long as you wear this object.
Okay. Would that mean that my racial feat I could swap out at some point?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool.
But yes, as you look inside, you see the name Eshtabai, and it's spelled really strangely. Eshtabai, like that. But you now know the true name of a slain god. And Cabriri says to you,
this tool shall help us at the right time. At the conjunction, you will have the power to control Eshtabai. Guard this information and secret, my Umbromancer, and go with my blessing.
And the voice dissipates from your mind.
I'm gonna hustle back. I'm gonna take that thing. I'm gonna shove it in my shirt. For now, not gonna mention what just happened because that's a lot already.
So anyway, what you need to do is, this works as a catalyst. According to these notes here, all you need to do is get your precursor warm, sprinkle this in, and then distill it down into kind of a sludge. Should be all you need.
I can't even begin to. I don't know how to thank you enough for this. This is going to change everything.
Well, I suppose you could just let me know where you're headed. I like hearing people's stories. And he kind of, as he says that, you kind of realize that all of the books he has look like journals, like people's handwritten journals. So he kind of wanders over to this table here. And I think we're about out of time, but that's fine. We can continue this next time. But he sits down and he says, before you go, you mind telling me just why exactly you needed it, why you're here, and what you're doing? I love hearing the stories of the travelers. Don't get too many around these parts.
Yeah.
Can I do a vibe check?
Sure. Perception check. Go ahead.
I would like to too.
Perception, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dice tower. I wish it were better at the.
I would love one as well.
Okay. Zavid, you feel really comfortable around this guy, actually. All of you kind of do. Reese, you can't really get a good read on him, but the rest of you seem very comfortable around him. He's given you stories about Dirge from his childhood. He spoke very highly of him. He's given you the same Fogton treatment everyone else is, of, any friend of Dirge is a friend of mine kind of thing. He just seems really interested in your story. He's just fascinated by the tales of adventure. Because he lives up on a mountain, he doesn't see much adventure. He doesn't get out much.
Perhaps we can tell you, as long as you promise not to turn us into an animal and then keep us penned up in here, if that's what happened to the travelers that came up here before.
No, I'll let them come in and out as they please. The goats come in through the hole in the cave over on the other side. They're free to come and go.
Can Danny corroborate this? Danny, are they people that have been transmogrified? Or are they actually animals?
She does go over and she'll talk to them, and she finds that they are indeed animals of their own free will. They just come inside to get out of the snow.
Okay, you're cool with me.
Yeah,
Alex is gonna be cool with us after we share what's going on in the world outside.
Yeah, Reese kind of like goes through his like pockets and stuff, and like flips out a platinum and pops it over to him, like, here for the animals. Or whatever you need supplies for.
Thank you. I'll definitely keep that in mind. I'll get plenty of feed from down in Fogton. Appreciate that at lunch.
Gotcha.
And as for the story, I mean, where do you want me to start?
The beginning's usually a good enough place.
Well, you see, I grew up in a circus, and this could be like the camera starts like panning out,
I
end
like
credits
that.
start
Yeah,
to.
this could be a great spot, I think, to stop. I think we might be skipping next week because I don't think Ash or Elliot will be able to show, and we have some preps to do as well. So next week, I think we're off. The following week, because our own Ash, our Danny, is moving, so she needs a little bit of time, and we don't want to get in too much into the thick plot without her, because she's kind of integral because it's her sibling we're looking for. So what we think we're going to do is not next week, but the week after, we are going to temporarily switch over to a Fists of the Ruby Phoenix AP, just so that we can stay on the air, give y'all some content to watch, and keep us playing. So we hope you'll join us in 2 weeks' time when we'll be playing a completely different game. It should be more of a fun little beat 'em up with some wacky new characters. We'll see what everybody comes up with. We hope you'll join us. And everybody, do you have anything to plug? Like Elliot?
Let me check my phone.
While you look, let's say Shane, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, if you like D&D music, I've been working really hard on some D&D music recently on my channel, Cool Boy Shane on YouTube. It's kind of my main focus at the moment, so if that's something that interests you, you can go check that out.
And I can corroborate that Shane is extremely talented. I love everything that he makes.
It's great. Yeah.
They're good.
Stop.
But don't stop, actually.
Abe, you got anything?
Yeah, speaking of Shane's music, we have our Sin City by Night Vampire the Masquerade game on Wednesday nights. His song is featured in our opening production there. And then Saturdays I do Curse of Strahd, my Twitch channel, Sinister. Also, since Ash isn't here to plug it, we do have a merch store with all kinds of cups and all that fun stuff. So if you're interested in that, please check that out. And other than that, thank you for watching, and I love you.
Aww.
Then Elliot, you got anything?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to stream on Tuesday and Thursday of my channel with the Cozy Queers from Wreck-It Ravens group. We've been doing Jackbox and Gartic and stuff like that all through the month of June for Pride Month. I'm also doing Roll for Pride alongside with Mondo Kane, who we've worked with in the past. They're a charity you can donate to that'll be for Trans Lifeline in Alabama. And so I'll be, trying to raise a little bit more money for that. Their goal is $3,000. I believe they're at $22,070. So check out Mondo Kane's Twitter to get more details on that. And if you want to check out some fun stuff that I was in over this weekend, if you go to Comfort Carry-On Studios or Carry-On Comfort Studios, Carry-On Comfort Studios. I played my friend's game called Chroma last night, and it's kind of like Sailor Scouts meet Power Rangers and Greek mythology.
It's awesome.
And it was amazing. It was so fun. My pun game was ridiculous, and it was fun. And then on Lawful Good Media, we have our Scion game, which was great. That's every other Friday. And we just had our episode on Friday, and that was a bunch of fun. So if you want to check out any of the stuff I'm in, the VODs should be up. But otherwise, I live on here. And if you also want to check out episode 1 of Revolt on the Rhine, we have it here as well. We're going to get back to playing very shortly. But again, Ash is moving, and she's one of the people in our group. So we're on a small hiatus. But if you want a taste of Vampire, go check out the VOD for Revolt on the Rhine. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube, but check it out. Episode 1 is amazing, and I play a Toreador, so definitely not Reese.
Cool. All right, Eldritch, you got anything?
No, I'm A-okay.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I'm not plugging anything other than this game either. So join us in 2 weeks for Fist of the Ruby Phoenix. We'll be taking the short break from this. If we get to the point where all of us can play on a specific week, we will jump back and forth into this. Like if Ash gets Wi-Fi at a hotel or something, you know, we will. But yeah, we hope you'll join us in 2 weeks. Have a great one. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Bye.
Some see me as a cynic. They come in for the base, but they stay for the acidic. I've been on that paper chase, keeping pace for a minute, and I'm aiming to appreciate the moment while I'm in it. Genesis a menace on the mic, so sinister. You might get some venom from the bites I administer. Winner from the start, superstar with the finisher. I got a decent heart, but I'm hardly a minister. A bardic apprentice, I'm innocent as a lamb. Worm like I'm Dennis, I don't dare to give a damn. Firm in the philosophy, I am who I am. I'm a carbon commodity, I need to be verified on the gram. Tightrope walking the it and the super ego. Lifeboat liable to fire the torpedoes. Keeping to the credo, I'm free to achieve the dream, or at the very least I can release some of my steam. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the defining the balance of good and evil in people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H. Double OD. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. So we're supposed to be sophisticated. Then why is 67% of the population undereducated? Emotionally incapacitated. Historically opinionated characters end up assassinated. And that's okay with the people faking it day to day. Capitalizing on capitalism, it's pay to play. Waiting for data to make it fade away. Whether you admit it, but witnessing biological decay of the human race. We're going to a new place. I really hope it comes soon. I don't do space, two-faced, trembling bass, running the rebel base. Outpacing enemies in the interface. In your face like a zygomatic arch. I got them in lockstep, meaning my melodramatic march is effective. Albeit rather subjective. I encourage you to pursue a new perspective. Alignment is just a part of the process, and lately I've been making some progress. I'm finding the defining the balance of good and evil in people is nearly an impossible conquest. Regardless, stay CG, only way I know how to be. When I combine my child with OTIC, an outlaw like I'm Robin H. Double OD. I made it through the rubble, now they got trouble with me. Since the day I was born, I've been non-conforming. I put myself in a position to make a living performing. Haters should consider this a formal warning. I've been swarming on them like a storm, I'm global